All right, we are going live at long last. Hopefully, the audio is coming through just fine, just right. So, good evening, everyone. Good morning, good day, good evening, wherever you are at. Hope that you are doing well on this happy Pi Day, White Days Eve. Yes, because those are holidays that you absolutely should be celebrating. Woohoo! And yes, we will be doing the Krusie run later, number 12. So let's see, we got 12 here. We got Dorcas Daydreams, we got Hannah Heaven, and Arts 1984. Great to have you all here. Dorcas Daydream says, Pi Day. Yes, Pi Day tomorrow. Woohoo! And if I were still teaching at the high school where I was at, we would also be doing tomorrow the Pi Day Olympics. The math teachers all get together to do uh, a massive Pi Day series of math games, which gets pretty fun and intense, like really intense. Hannah says, hello and happy Pi Day White Day. I won't be able to make a bonding story between two characters this year. That's going to be a long while. Well, don't worry. Romance takes time. Art says, hey guys, happy I was able to catch this. Oh yeah. Dory says I was going to get some moon pies for tomorrow since it's also a full moon, but I can't get them until the weekend. Well, that sucks. Yes, Art is indeed Pie Day tomorrow. You have to get the pizza pie. Oh, yes. You can get all kinds of pies. Pizza counts as two. Hannah hates math. I used to really like math back in high school, but then after not doing any math for a while in college, completely got out of the practice, out of the habit, and I'm like, math is hard. I can't do math. What's math again? Art says, I love basic math. Basic math is nice and easy. Now then, I did take a class, and this was really cool. That was an implied math class. So the actual math behind a mortgage, setting a budget, all really good stuff. And then math to make sense of stuff like the stock exchange, because you can do that. And then once you've used the math, you're like, oh, yeah, this is all black magic. This doesn't make any sense. The math checks out, but why it is the way it is, no. That was a fun class. I actually, when we were supposed to figure out our mortgage and budgets for like the end of the semester project, I told my professor somewhat jokingly, I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to I'm going to make plans for living in a van down by the river. She then turned to me and said, my husband and I did that for 3 years. It's way more expensive than you think. And we went through the math. It is more expensive to live in a van down by the river than it is to buy your own house. Yes, I am not kidding. That is the truth. In the long run, it is cheaper to own your own house than it is to live in a van down by the river. So, yeah, go figure. Hey, Jolly Tommy is here. Woohoo! Joel says, man, I'm being excited for holidays, but I can't always muster energy for them because of other events. Well, I understand that. This is why we ought to become big communism builders. Oh, as I would always tell my students, communism, it doesn't work. And it's like I broke down why, and it's not what most people think. And then when people are like, wait, what? I'm like, yes, this right here is the linchpin to communism. It will never work because it is literally a utopia, and utopias cannot be created because humanity is false, tricksy, and corrupt. So sorry, everyone, no utopia for us. We are stuck with what we got, which is why reading fiction can be so much fun, because you can have any world you want. Ha Art says, really? Even in a very cheap van down by the river? Yep, yeah, pretty much. Charles says it's the purposely most precarious form of government. So I've been told any utopia would eventually either become a dystopia or a corrupt farce. Yep, yeah, that's the case. Because again, humans are just not built for actually creating a perfect society because we're not perfect. And an excellent movie for that, if anyone is wanting to see a movie that subtly takes jabs at the idea of utopias while also presenting a romance all wrapped up in a horror. The Village by M. Night Shyamalan. Excuse me. So I asked, how was living in a van on the road more expensive? What expenses outdid the homeowner? Travel, food, and actually the ability to draw on loans and a whole lot of other things. If you are living in a van down by the river, you very, very quickly will destroy your van, which now means you need to go and get more transportation, and you always need to have gas. It will actually end up costing you a whole lot more. Your insurance sucks, which means you have to pay more out of pocket for everything. Having a house is not just it actually gets you benefits in terms of deals you can make with the bank, deals you can make with car dealers, and it shows people that you are reliable, meaning that you have a better chance of getting good tax returns and better insurance, all of which saves you money or gives you money in the end. So living in a van down by the river ends up screwing you over. And because it's something that will always constantly be needing repair after repair after repair, houses require work as well, but houses don't require so many repairs as living in your car does, because that will end up destroying your car way faster than just simply driving it. So that's it. Also, you have to actually own the property to live down by the river. If you don't, you have to pay penalty after penalty after penalty after penalty, which means buying the land and owning the land also costs you money. So yeah, it's cheaper to get a house. And it's also cheaper to have a house than it is to get an apartment. In the long run, over the course of 30 years of a 30-year mortgage, you end up paying slightly less for your 30-year mortgage if you have a good interest rate, as opposed to living in an apartment for 30 years. The math checks out. The problem is that getting a house requires a massive down payment. And that's where most people falter. Yeah, Estelle says maybe in a better housing market, but not right now. Yep, so that's the thing. It's all about getting that good down payment, getting a good deal. Then it helps out. Anyway, math and stuff. Okay, so for tonight, what we're going to be doing, and I apologize if I suddenly start sounding really hoarse or coughing a whole lot. I'm not sick. It's just that time of year. For the next month, I will have a bad cough. I'm right now sucking on a cough drop to be like, okay, I will not die. I will not die. Tonight, what we will be doing is we are going to be looking at how to write endings. That will be our lesson for tonight. So TV account, there you have it. You haven't missed anything. We're going to do the lesson, and then we're going to get into playing the rest of Deltarune Chapter 2. And what we want to do is we want to take our lesson about how to write endings, and we're going to apply it to what Toby Fox does in Chapter 2. Plus also have some look at the shipping and the world building and yada yada, all that good fun stuff. And then we can maybe end the night with some speculation about Deltarune's chapters 3 and 4 before we close out. That's kind of what I have on the docket. Hey, I'm Omega's here. Bonjour. Bonjour, monsieur. Welcome to this fantastic feast where the food will feed you itself. But we will not say what that means about the food. Okay. Well, let me pull up our fantastic slideshow for the evening. And I'll take a little while to load. Mon ami. Yeah, I know next to no French. I cannot speak French. French is weird. Now, as everyone says, German sounds really harsh, and yes, it does. But it is all in the delivery. And also if you can speak some dialect, because there's some dialect that makes German sound way more unique than you might know. Of course, that's the knowledge of my French right there. Yeah, the most I can say in French is bonjour croissant français, which is hello French croissant. That is the most I can say in French. Aber auf Deutsch ist alles anders, weil ich echte Sätze auf Deutsch sagen kann. Kann schon vieles auf Deutsch sagen, wenn ich will. Ich kann Deutsch nicht so gut wie früher, und das ist, weil ich nicht so oft geübt habe. Und wenn man die Fähigkeit nicht benutzt, dann verlernt man alles, was man früher gelernt hat. Zum Beispiel Deutsch. There we go. What I just said right there was basically a lament that I don't speak German as well as I used to, because I haven't practiced German. And when you don't practice it, you lose it. Okay. Let's dive into this. So I'll ask, mind if I ask why in particularly you enjoy the Krusie ship? I enjoy the good dynamic, parallel, and subtle shows of care myself. Well, Joel, speaking at least for myself, real quick, I actually did not ship Chris and Susie until my second playthrough of the game. Like, the first time I played through it, wasn't even thinking shipping. I was just like, this is a fun game. Woohoo! Yay! Playing through it, having a good time. When I got to the end, I was all like, oh, Susie's now friends with Ralsei. Isn't that cute? You know what? Susie needs a real friend. And Ralsei could just be a really great friend. They could be cute if they got together. Fluffy boy, prickly bully girl. I can see it. Opposites attract. That's nice. And then I wanted to play through the game again because I just enjoyed it so much. And the second time I was playing through it, I wanted to get as much of the dialogue as possible. And as I was playing through all the dialogue, I began to realize that Chris had a connection to Susie that existed before the ending of the game where they become friends. That Chris knew Susie in a way that we as the players did not. And that made me very, very curious. I was like, wait a second. What's going on here? And so just playing through it all, I was like, I think that Chris likes Susie. Huh. I don't know if Susie likes Chris back. I mean, she likes them as a friend. So there's that. And then by the time we got to the second game, there was far more Easter eggs hinting at Chris liking Susie and the potential that Susie already might like them back. And so that fun little Easter egg hunt just made me really enjoy the prospects of that particular relationship. I mean, if you want to ship anything else, feel free to ship whatever you want within the game. We're all free to do that, and that's just the nature of shipping. But that's why I got so drawn to it. It wasn't something that I was originally drawn towards, but I began to notice little things, and then exploring those little elements, I was like, wait a second. I think there's something here. This is cool. This is like a relationship that's kind of hidden in the background that if you wish to explore it, it could become a potential endgame relationship. Very interesting. And then I just got hooked on it. As Art says, it's the best relationship in the game thus far. Totally Tommy, Krusie ship? More like cruise ship. Brr, brr. Charles says, Ralsei also seems too much of a people pleaser to be a good fit with a character like Susie. Yeah, Ralsei's got a lot to work on as far as people pleasing and kind of growing a real spine. Art says, Chris knows Susie liked Moss in Chapter 1 and saved it for Susie in Chapter 2 when they found another patch, for example. Exactly. Which is when you get that really awesome tsundere moment if you don't eat the moss earlier. So, the Krusie liner. All aboard the Krusie liner. We go to Norway. So, there's my answer for you, number 12. Okay, let's now get to our lesson. Endings are hard. Let's learn how to write them. Yes, all aboard the SS Krusie. Hopefully we get out of the bay. So, yes, endings are very hard. They're easily one of the hardest things aside from, of course, the beginnings of a story. So, what we're going to do tonight is we're going to focus on the different approaches to endings. Now, there's so many different ways that someone can write an ending, but we're going to kind of boil it down to simple ideas, simple forms for an ending to kind of give you an idea of what you might want to try to aim for with your own stories. We'll then move on from there. We also then want to talk about chapter endings versus story endings. Like we all can tell what a good story ending is, but what about chapters? And that will especially become important when we then look at Deltarune chapter 2's ending, because it's not the ending of a story, it's the ending of a chapter. But a chapter should be, if it's done well, a story within a story. Storyception! So that is going to be the progress of the proposed progression of tonight's lesson. And it says, I think I remember that art. Yeah, I just recently came across this. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. I was trying to find, and maybe some of you can actually find this. Let me quickly, let me actually see if I have this somewhere else. Quickly pull this up. So there's an image that I really like of all of the students, including Susie, in the classroom while Alphys is teaching, and Chris accidentally drops their pencil and it falls through the floor and then becomes a sword as it's going on through. And I remember seeing that and just being like, what? Oh, that is so cool. And I've always enjoyed that particular picture, and I was trying to find it again, but I was having a really hard time because it definitely is a much older picture. So this might, let's see here. If I quickly jump on over to Krusie, one of my Krusie tabs, do I have it? Probably not. And it just kind of sucks. It's such a good picture. Oh well. In any case, I highly recommend trying to find that one of Chris dropping a pencil and it transforms into a sword as it goes into the dark world. It's such a cool classroom image, and kudos to whoever made it because it's so cool. But that being said, we shall continue on. 12 says, the topic reminds me of the Shel Silverstein poem. There are no happy endings. Endings are the saddest part. Just give me a happy middle and a very happy start. I can agree with that, because when you get to the end of a great story, you're like, oh man, it ended. Dang it. All right. Types of endings. There is no exact right way to write an ending. There are those people who are like, no, a story must end this way. But it doesn't. It absolutely doesn't. It always depends on the story that you're telling, which will determine how it comes to a close, or how it can best come to a close. But there are certain types of endings, or categories of endings. And to make it easy, I'm going to boil down endings, generally speaking, to 3 types, which I call the building block style, the symphonic style, and the vague open-ended style. And depending on what story it is that you want to tell, you are going to structure your story accordingly to hit that specific ending. So, building block, symphonic, and vague / open-ended. Let's have a look at these. The building block ending. This is the easiest kind of ending, at least in terms of structure. So along the way, you set up different character arcs, you have your themes, your main ideas, your plot lines, your subplots, your romances if you have romances, all of these things, mysteries, tension, yada, yada, yada. And it's much like building a Lego castle. You go block for block, or in terms of writing, story point by story point. You will finish up and you're going to wrap up multiple subplots and character arcs early on, while you're making like the tower of your castle, the front gates, the base of your castle. These are things that you complete to help build up to the ending. They're not the ending themselves, but rather it's an end that helps to propel you to the next part of your story. And so this allows you to wrap up some character plots really early on, deliver some good character development for one character before you move on to the next big part. Maybe there's a subplot that you need to wrap up a little bit earlier on, stuff like that, in order then to push things forward. And everything comes in its proper time, in its proper place, in order then to facilitate the climax of the main plot and the arcs of the main character or main characters. Because that is what you're trying to serve. You're like, okay, all these subplots, all these other things that I'm doing, I need to firmly establish all of this stuff and wrap it up so that way I can focus at the very end on the primary stuff. Boom! This is my main theme, my main character, the main plot line. I wrap it up in a cool way, and the story is finished, and everyone gives me a round of applause. This is the way that most stories end up being written because it's also usually the easiest. Because you can compartmentalize the different aspects of of your story, put them where they need to belong, wrap them up without needing to focus on juggling so many other parts, and that allows you then to deliver on the big stuff. You can focus just on that and get it done fantastically. TV Count says, can this work for character-driven stories? Absolutely. Because let's say you're focusing on just what's happening with the character, but there's all these other things that you spin off. You can wrap up that stuff wherever you need to wrap it up and then maintain your focus on the main character and not deviate from it. And a building block ending allows you to do that because you wrap up all of these little subplots along the way before you get to the end with your main character. Let me take a drink of water right here. Now, I'll have more to say about this in a bit, but that's pretty much it. Building block endings. You complete different segments of your story in order to facilitate the end. 12 says, a story is like a big physical art piece. You can make it beautiful, but if you try and add detail to every bit, it'll take years. Pretty much. And you can do that too. Some stories are made to be that way. Others, not so much. Like thinking, for instance, of Pi Day, since I have, you know what, I will take a brief moment right here to do some advertising. No, that's absolutely not a word. Please do not use it. To do some proper advertising. I will show you guys. In honor of Pi Day. Look at this. This is my rom-com story right here. Notice me, send Pi. So thinking, for instance, of building block endings and focusing on the character and what 12 brings up here about all these different pieces that you could add to a story. Notice Me Senpai is shaved down to the most basic elements. I want to focus on this lovely lass as she is in love with the hot senpai in her class, in her home economics class, with the gorgeous Raphael. And so yeah, there's like throughout the book, you get introduced to all of these ridiculous side characters. There's drama on the side. There's her wacky family. Those things are all there. And I give you just enough in order to enjoy what is going on, to understand these characters a little bit more. But I focus primarily on my little Mindy right here, who is going to, by the end of the book, deliver a delicious pie to her senpai. Charles says, I've never been to a place that serves senpai before. It should be served. It's a great pie. Which, for anyone who doesn't know why I ended up writing this particular book, my my sister and one of my cousins were in the car with me. We were like going off to the movies, I think, and so I made the joke. I made a joke in reference to "Notice me, senpai." My sister did not catch it. She's like, "Send pie? Wait, notice me, send pie? Okay, what kind of pie do you want, Lars?" I'm just like, "No, senpai, Japanese." I had to explain it to her, and it really wasn't that funny for me, but she thought it was hilarious. And then, like, some months later, she's like, "So, Lars, what if you wrote a story about sending pie to senpai?" And this came into being. So, for Pie Day, you can read Notice Me Send Pie, and it has pie recipes. All right. Popping back on over here to this. Now then, we have also the symphonic ending. This ending right here, the symphonic style ending, is much like a piece of music that blends together all the different elements that you've been building throughout your story, much like a piece of music. Ro says that's adorable. Thank you, Ro. Thank you. The idea is, much like resolving a grand symphonic piece of art, is to resolve together or very close to each other all the major character arcs, themes, plot points, and subplots all at the same time to kind of get this grand crescendo. You can kind of think of it in terms of like in the Hall of the Mountain King, which I really should have pulled up a copy. You know what? I probably can. ISO asks, what did I miss? ISO, I think you just missed me talking about Notice Me Senpai, and we started up our lesson about different kinds of about writing endings. There are three main endings that we are going to three main types of endings that we'll be talking about: building block style, symphonic style, vague open-ended. And you can go back to the beginning of this live stream later to get more details, more of the discussion. But building block is basically compartmentalizing all the different aspects of your story and wrapping up everything that isn't the main plot line and isn't the main characters before setting up and finishing your story to deliver on the most important stuff. But a symphonic ending tries to blend it all together. And the reason why people like the symphonic ending is because it has the maximum power and the most emotional energy. These are the kinds of endings that everyone wants to write. Because, like, for instance, Art says, so a story like The Return of the Jedi with multiple storylines occurring at once. Yes, and how it all gets wrapped up by the end of The Return of the Jedi. Sure, there's questions that people can have about what happens next. But all the important stuff about Vader's story, Anakin's story, the story of Luke, the story of Leia and of Leia and Han finally getting together, and all of the weird love triangle getting resolved, balancing the Force, ending the Civil War that's been tearing apart the galaxy, all of this stuff, giving C-3PO, even giving C-3PO a bit of a redemption arc by making him like the god of the Ewoks. And all of that stuff. Lando Calrissian now being the hero who leads the charge into the Death Star to blow it up. All of that stuff. Everything is wrapped up together in one giant epic battle for the future and fate of the galaxy. And it hits so beautifully well. Yes, there are certain things that are wrapped up a little bit earlier in the run of the trilogy or the whole saga of 6 movies. We're not going to count the Disney Star Wars movies. It all just wraps up so beautifully in The Return of the Jedi. Rose says, speaking of Japanese puns, I thought of a name of naming a character Shinkage, which is a pun of foreshadow. Shin meaning for, and Kage meaning shadow. However, Shin can also mean truth or death. So depending on the context, you get the meaning. Da-dum-bum. Shinkage. Scott, are you hanging out somewhere in the chat where you can provide us with more details? Since Scott is our resident Japanese speaker. So yeah, the Return of the Jedi is an excellent example of multiple storylines being all wrapped up relatively around the same time to provide the biggest and best punch. Another good example is Mistborn Hero of Ages, which brings together all of the main storylines, all of the main characters, all of the mysteries, all of the reveals, and brings it together in this beautiful, emotional climax where your heart is just being ripped out of your chest before being punched back in with maximum feels of like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. I didn't know how the heroes were going to win this one. Oh, it's so good. But here's the thing. It's not the most common type of story ending. And the reason is because it's one of the most difficult to pull off because it is such a juggling game. Because there's so many elements that you now have to handle. The larger your story is, the bigger the ending has to be. Which, when you look at something, for instance, like Return of the Jedi, almost a third of the movie easily is the final battle. All of it. And that's a lot of movie. And it has to be that way in order to handle all the different characters and all the different themes and ideas and plot lines and subplots that have yet to be resolved, which is most of them by that point. Joel says the opposite of this in emotional narrative, but sort of the same could be found in games like Lisa the Painful or a fan game of that, Lisa the Hopeful. I don't know anything about Lisa the Painful or the fan game of it, so unfortunately I can't comment, but I will take your word for it, 12. So, again, the bigger you make your story, the harder it is to have a good symphonic ending. That are pretty good, would recommend. Well, thank you, 12, for the recommendation. So that's just something to bear in mind, because I myself, I would love to be able to write a very powerful symphonic ending to any one of my stories. But for instance, as I've been working on The Legend of the Ten Lords, I've been working on the last book in the 6-book series. That one is going to have to definitely be a building block ending, because there's just so much happening that there's no way that I can wrap it all up in one awesome ending that satisfactorily answers all these questions, delivers beautifully for the whole cast of characters. That needs to be compartmentalized. Otherwise, it would just be a mess. And I'm willing to accept that I'm not that good of an author yet to try to pull off something like that. And so it's good to know what you are able to do, so that way you can make the ending the best that it can be. If you realize that symphonic would be awesome, but you're more of a building block writer, or that fits better with your story, then that's the route you should take. If you feel like you can pull off a symphonic ending, then sure, go that route. Tia Count says, so that's why Ruby writing was so difficult. Yeah, kind of in part. One of the things that, this is a bit of my speculation, since I was not in the writer's room for Ruby. I think one of the reasons why Ruby began falling apart comes down not to them trying to make a certain ending, but rather to talk about, coming back to Silverstein's poem, where he says, give me a happy middle. Ruby, the writers for Ruby could not deliver a happy middle. You have an excellent opening with the first three seasons, which then takes a massive turn towards the more gloomy, which season 4 delivers on. And season 4 ends hopefully. It has a very hopeful, triumphant ending to it. And this is where you can tell that Monty really still had his hand at the helm, even though he passed away before it was released. And from that moment on, what was the two guys, Carrie and who's the other guy? The two guys who took over for Monty, they had a very hard time balancing the humor, the fun, and the hopefulness that Ruby was always supposed to have. Miles and Carrie, thank you, TV account. Miles and Carrie cannot pull off humorous, hopeful, and fun. Miles can be funny, but he has no idea how to blend it with the other elements because he's mostly a crude humor guy. He required someone like Monty to help rein him in. Carrie is a world builder. He has no idea how to do good dialogue. Or really much of anything else as far as I've been able to see, which is why they hired on other people to actually help them with the dialogue. But by those people who they hired on were shippers who wanted to do things with ships rather than actually progress the story. And you can see it on the screen. And so everything started already falling apart before you could even get to the ending. TV Count says that's stuff you find in most anime. Yes, definitely. Especially with anime that kind of goes on for too long without a good concrete vision for what the ending could be. Nora Vanguard is here. Woohoo! Oh, Ruby talk. Ruby needed Lusum in Volume 9. They also had the perfect reason to give her a new design to symbolize her growth after drinking the tea. Yes! Thank you, Nora. Ruby needed to grow. Yeah. Oh, and by the end of the latest volume, where it's all like, you don't need to change. You've always been good. What was all of this other stuff for then? Because Ruby is not an unchanging protagonist. If you want an unchanging protagonist, watch Bleach, Naruto, or One Piece. That is where you get your unchanging protagonist done right. Gah! No, Ruby went through a lot of change. She should have changed as a character. And what I want to see is I want to see her rise above it all to hold on once again to the hope that she was always meant to symbolize. But no, you were always good. Out Loud says Ruby always had writing problems even when Monty was around. Yes, I will give you that. Ruby is not a perfect show in the first 4 seasons, not at all. And Monty loved action more than he loved character interactions. That is a big deal. However, Monty could write better character interactions than Miles and Carrie. So I will give him that. Rose says, I would also argue that the beginnings are given a lot of leeway due to the audience being most open to what the story is when being introduced. Very, very good point there, Ro. We can have a long conversation about how fans react to the endings of different stories after being around that story for so long. And the ending, the people will have more forgiveness towards certain aspects of an opening, so long as the opening does its job of being an excellent introduction and hook to the main story and the main character and the atmosphere, which we've talked about before when we did that 3-parter lesson on how to write openings, which for those of you who have joined us, if you haven't seen that, I highly, highly recommend going back and checking out our 3-part lesson on how to write openings. And one of these days we'll have to do something like that that's a little bit more concrete for writing endings. But I think that will require a little bit more work than what I have right here for tonight. And also more variety of examples that we can really pull on. Nora says, my sister's so pissed off by the "you don't need to change" line. Exactly. Art says, oi, Bleach's story arcs go on forever, man. They do in the anime. The manga is way more concise on that. The anime had to really string things along because they kept catching up with the anime, so they took forever through the fights. The 2 fights that absolutely deserved to be lengthened from what they were in the manga is the fight between Ichigo and Ulquiorra. Definitely worth building on that because it is way too fast in the manga. Then what's the other one that's also that also really needed an overhaul? Ichigo versus the 4 Stanritter girls at the same time. That one also really needed an expansion because it was such an epic moment in the manga, and then it ended instantly. I'm like, no! Ichigo needs to beat these girls around a little bit, not just end it after 2 panels. Kubo, what are you doing? That was one of the signs that told me that Kubo, like in retrospect, let me know that Kubo had already lost interest in the arc and just wanted it to end. Anyways. TV Account says, I think it's because it was supposed to be a character-driven story versus plot-driven. TV Account, I think it was meant to be both, but with more emphasis on the characters. Nora says, we had a whole season in the belly of the beast, and none of the characters grow from it. Jean was forcefully reverted in his literal growth. Exactly. Oh my gosh. ISO, well, after 2 years of being invested in murder drones, the ending sent me through the 25 stages of grief. Denial, anger, bargaining, and depression 21 times straight. I'm currently coping. Oh, ISO. Yes, I understand. Out loud, like we spent so much time on Team Juniper when the show is called Ruby, and that was Monty's decision. Yes, out loud, it absolutely was. If in a perfect world, the first 3 seasons would have been traditional 24 episode seasons with a better balance between Team Juniper and Team Ruby. And I think that would have been amazing. But that's in a perfect world. All right, moving on. As far as endings go, ISO, I think we can also, like, if we're going to talk about murder drones. Murder drones ended up trying, I think, for a symphonic ending and absolutely dropped the ball because all the different side characters and subplots were all dropped in favor of the main action, wrapping up everything with Absolute Solver, and of course, Newsy. Oh. It's red. You guys probably can't hear it, but it's like almost thundering from the rain that's falling outside right now, which is cool. That normally doesn't happen. That's so cool. Okay. A guy who lives in the desert. Rain. Okay. On to our third generalized ending category. The open-ended and vague endings. These types of endings are there to never fully resolve the plot, the character arcs, the themes, or any of that story plays with. And the combinations for a vague ending can vary. For example, a theme can be fully established, and the audience is then left to speculate about what will happen with the characters. So, for instance, last night I went to go see Mickey 17 with my oldest sister, and it was a really good movie. I understand why a lot of people don't like it, because it's a very vague, open-ended story where you're like, wait, what? All of this, and what, the main character is still an idiot? And that's the point. The guy's a real idiot and that's the reason why all these other things don't make any sense throughout the movie, because the movie is all told and narrated from Mickey 17's perspective. And because he's a moron, he cannot make sense of all the other stuff that's shown to you. And so you, as a member of the audience, have to be paying close attention to everything that's happening in order to try to make sense of the story. Now, these kinds of endings are difficult to pull off because they require you as the creator to both execute excellent characterization and world building and a strong understanding of themes that you are working with. You must provide the audience with enough information and incentive to keep imagining what the story could be on their own. And you must leave enough clues for multiple endings to potentially exist. This is why vague endings become so difficult, because you have to validate multiple endings that could happen, and you must do enough world building and character building early on to really make people want to continue on with the story. If you don't do that, then when you get to the vague ending, people will feel disenchanted and disinclined to continue to speculate over your story. TV account, did anyone here play Zenless Zone Zero? No, but I actually did watch a little bit of gameplay and one of the trailers for it. So I know now a little bit more about Zenless Zone Zero. In any case, Rose says, people are going to disagree with me, but I enjoy the ambiguous ending of Full Metal Alchemist 2003. Ro, I can understand why you like that. And actually, most people really like that as well. And I remember when I first watched Full Metal Alchemist, I was like, okay, I can live with that. I don't like how dark it is, especially after everything that the brothers went through. But I'm like, fine. Okay, anime. Anime does this all the time. I came to hate the ending of Full Metal Alchemist 2003 when I finally watched Brotherhood, because I had not read the manga, so I didn't know the deviations between the manga and the anime. But when I watched Brotherhood and learned that Brotherhood was the more faithful adaptation of the manga, and then you get to the end of Brotherhood, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is the superior ending. Oh boy. But I'm not going to rip into you if you like it. you can have that take. 12 says vague endings are for writers who are afraid of death. Maybe. It depends a lot on the story and on the writer. There's some writers who really love the vague open endings because they want to haunt people with possibility. And sometimes other writers go for the vague endings because they can't make up their mind of what the ending should be. Which you can tell when that happens, and that's really annoying. Isa says, well, I can say that Murder Drones, at the very least, did the ambiguous ending well. Even most of the episode 8 haters that I have talked to like it. Yes, the ambiguous ending at the very end of Murder Drones is good. That is good horror story. Good horror storytelling. I will tell you that. Nora says, not a vague ending, but the climax of the manga Children of the Sea is well done. The story gives you a multiple idea of what could be happening during it. Children of the Sea. Is that the one about the sand whale, or am I getting it completely mixed up with something else? I think I'm getting it mixed up with something else. So I might not know that story, Nora. Sorry. But yeah, so that's basically open-ended vague endings. They can be fun, but you really need to make sure that you put in the work for a strong opening and strong middle. Otherwise, the vague ending becomes a disappointment rather than an invitation for the audience to continue engaging with the story on their own. That's one of the reasons why the show Lost didn't work out really well, because it had a very strong opening but had no idea what to do in the middle. And so then when it gave you the weird ending, everyone hated it because it felt like it was a total cop-out. Arts1984 says, The Sopranos is a good example of ambiguous. Everyone expected Tony to be shot, but the show denied everyone. Brum, brum, brum. Spoilers for those who have not watched The Sopranos. But yeah, ambiguous. Here's the thing. I know, and now here's a hot take from me. I know a lot of people love the vague, open-ended ending of Cowboy Bebop. I don't like it, and I'll tell you the reason why I don't like it. Because all of the characters who have been built up throughout the season get dismantled in the last 3 episodes before the epic showdown. If you had brought in the whole gang for the epic showdown and leave people wondering what's actually going to happen, that would have worked out really, really well. That's just my opinion. I just could not connect with Cowboy Bebop at the end. I felt it really dropped the ball. A really good counter to Cowboy Bebop and how it handled everything is Outlaw Star. That anime deserves way more recognition. That was basically Firefly before Firefly was even a thing. It's so good. Outlet says, I like Murder Drone's ending. It lets me headcanon what happens after. Exactly, which is, I think, what Liam Vickers was aiming for. All right. Now then, for those of you who are writing your stories, I want you to think about your story. What kind of ending does it need? Take a moment to think about it. That gives me also a chance to take a drink of water. Nora Vanguard says Children of the Sea is a 5-volume series about Daisuke Igarashi. It focuses on events that will happen and you get all of the characters' opinions and theories of what will happen. Okay. No, then it's not the story I was thinking of. That's very interesting. So Children of the Sea. Rose says I was actually going to mention the ending of Bebop. I think it fails because everyone has the same interpretation of the ending. Yeah, pretty much. And again, I just felt like it really needed the whole gang of characters to actually be there to really make it work. So, no, whatever. If you want a better ending for a space cowboy story, you'll watch Outlaw Star. Just a little bit more warning, though. Outlaw Star in a couple of scenes gets way more explicit than Cowboy Bebop ever does. So that's just something to bear in mind. Not for a young audience. Definitely hard PG-13 at the very least. But coming around to thinking about what kind of ending does your story really need? So if I pop back on over here to Notice Me Senpai, I brought up how like I have like kind of a building block ending to it. However, there is a bit that I leave at the very end where it becomes suddenly vague and open-ended. Because I then take a leap forward that only lasts for like a paragraph. And it then makes you, and what I intended with that final paragraph is that I wanted the reader to think that this isn't just kind of like a one and done deal, that Mindy has delivered her pie to her senpai and they will live happily ever after, because this is high school. And high school isn't the end all be all. And so it makes you wonder, who is Mindy going to be after this? She becomes a legend because she asked out Raphael with a pie. Slight spoilers. Trust me, the build-up to it is even better. So it leaves you wondering, where is this little blonde, sweaty girl with that delicious-looking pie? Where is she actually going to end up? And that's what I hope, because my main target audience for this book are teenagers or people who've just left high school, and give them a good awkward laugh and a chuckle. And hopefully it gets you thinking about, like, where do you go after this? Because the pie and the confession are one thing, but love and life and adventure are a totally different one. And so it's kind of left up to you. But ultimately, it brings everything together pretty well for the main story. Nicely built up and compartmentalized. So again, with your endings, it can be different things. For The Legend of the Ten Lords, I know that I absolutely needed to compartmentalize and build everything up because it's just so much stuff. There are, by the end of the 6th book, there are the 10 Lords, so that's 10 characters, plus our main characters of Ben, Jessica, Narmina, and Lagablad, plus Bob the Virus, plus Nessa and Tori, plus the Guardian. We're already up to 18 characters. Then one of the big villains who gets introduced later on in the saga, and suddenly there's just all these characters. And if I tried to create a symphonic ending for all these characters, it would feel kind of weird, where you're just like, wait a second, how can you wrap up so many character arcs all in one go in a way that feels satisfying? You normally can't, which is why you need to compartmentalize it. Or, as we will see when we get into Deltarune Chapter 2, there's another way, like when we talk about compartmentalizing, how you can use chapters to help cap endings for certain adventures and character arcs while creating the springboard for the next big thing. Let's see here. So to catch up with you guys are saying, 12 says, oh wait, whoop. Okay, so to catch up with Arts, my current story with Chris and Des is going to have a more open-ended direction given Deltarune's ongoing story. Makes total sense, and I like it. 12 says if the story of an ending is a counterintuitive one, say the main character dying or losing in some way, what category would that fit into? It could fit into any one of those. It could be open ending, it could be symphonic, or it could be building block. It all depends on what you're trying to do with the ending where the main character loses or dies. Kind of similar to something like a Farewell to Arms. A Farewell to Arms is very open-ended because you're like, what is this guy going to do? This World War I veteran who is a coward and who lost the woman that he's been having an affair with. In the very first book of Beyonders, where the heroes lose, it's very much a building block ending to show the different moments where the heroes have lost, but also show how the heroes might just have a chance when we get to the next book. Whereas the second book has a much more symphonic ending, bringing all the characters together for the moment where they are finally able to rally around a small spark of hope. So it depends on what you want to do. Trigun's, Rose says, Trigun is my favorite anime space western from the year 1984, but later on 1988, I believe, was the correction. I need to finish watching Trigun. It was a good show. Yes, Bebop, Trigun, Outlaw Star all came out on TV in the same year. That's absolutely amazing. What a time for space westerns. From Japan! Come on, America, catch up! TV account says, I don't know if it's just me, but I want to aim for building block ending. I think most because I'm still trying to find my writing style. And TV account, that works out perfectly well. Because again, there's no one right way to write an ending. You're trying to find the ending style that fits best with your story. 12 says, Rafael Ambrosius Castillo. Hope I pronounced that correct. Anthony Dixon. Hey, Anthony. I think Samurai Champloo has a good ending as well. It does leave an idea that Fu, Mugen, and Jin will probably meet again someday. I love the ending to Samurai Champloo. It's a good bittersweet one that is totally earned. And that is a good combination of building block and symphonic, where there's a lot of things that are wrapped up leading up to the ending, where you then bring the main characters together or for a grand sweeping ending that wraps up a lot of who they are, while also at the same time leaving it a little bit open-ended and vague, which is kind of cool. Again, no one right way to write an ending. Samurai Champloo uses different elements to create a very strong ending. And it's great to see someone else who has also watched that. Outlaw says, now we need the dog water. Everyone dies in the end ending. Oh, there are definitely stories like that. ISO says, to use my story Shadowbound as an example, is a dark fantasy horror that deals with the ravenous embodiment of darkness, much like the Abyss from Dark Souls. So I think the ending will need to be either an ambiguous ending or a bittersweet ending. And I like that. Hannah's back. I'm back. Yay, I miss everything. Don't worry, Hannah. You can always go back and you can rewatch it. Trust me, it will still be up. Anthony says, to which I like the idea. Excellent. So I still love the ending of Red versus Blue season 14. It's somber but hopeful. I don't know. I missed out on a lot of the later seasons of Red versus Blue, so I'm definitely out of the loop there. But I remember being introduced to Red versus Blue way back in the early days with my cousins. And I was like, what the heck is this? And they're just all laughing off their heads. I'm like, I need context. Nora says, I'm going to head out later. Well, Nora, thank you so much for being here. It was great having you here, and thank you so much for your comments. All right, so moving on. Chapters need endings too. This is something to think about, and this is going to play into as we talk about Deltarune, because we're almost there. Don't worry, my Krusie fans and Deltarune fans, we are about to get to it. Chapters need endings too. Each chapter in a story, and you can also think in terms of episodes, installments, volumes, etc., is a short and contained story that helps to move along the overall plot. Every character should end, every chapter, sorry, just reading my own words, every chapter should end having either advanced the plot or a subplot significantly, or providing a mile marker for a character's development, or delivering on a theme or idea that helps to drive your story forward. Basically, a good chapter is a short story within a larger story that helps to move the story along and provides good mile markers and capstones for everything that you are trying to hit along your story. I like to think of them as mile markers because it's like a journey. You're like, I'm 15 miles in. Okay, I know I've got so many more miles to go. And look at this beautiful landmark. Is basically what a chapter should do. Anthony says, the Haikyuu ending is also my favorite sports manga ending, along with Kuroko no Basake. I don't know Kuroko no Basake, but yes, Haikyuu, I like the ending. There were certain things I would love to have gotten more as far as Haikyuu goes, like some of the characters were doing, but I really actually enjoyed the Brazilian beach volleyball arc. Like at first I was like, oh, what the heck is going on here? And then I read, I'm like, oh, this is really cool. Like I was really into the normal volleyball arc. I personally love beach volleyball, even though I suck playing beach volleyball. You definitely have to be in good shape to do it. And I really did appreciate how that provided a good contrast to the competitive world of volleyball back in Japan, and how it helps to teach you and the characters the different skills necessary and communication necessary and the trust necessary to be a very strong volleyball player in a very different style game. Same rules, but very different environment, which completely changes it up. And I really, really like that. I says the later seasons are the best. Well, that's good to know about Red versus Blue. 12 says, I feel that those really bleak, sad stories become more character studies, like Lisa the Painful and its ending, but I won't spoil it for you in case you played. Well, thank you. Anthony says, I don't know what it is. Sports, manga, anime endings seem to have a better understanding and handling of endings. And Anthony, I think that comes about from the very just nature of playing sports. For anyone who's played sports competitively, that's the way that it goes. Like you have your character, like you yourself can, if you've ever played sports competitively, you have your own character arc. Like I played basketball for a few years and really, really enjoyed playing basketball. And I liked it because I liked the physical exertion, and it was a sport that I could play that wouldn't destroy my feet since my feet are reconstructed. And I love football, but I cannot play football competitively because of the high pressure impacts of tackling will destroy the results of the operations done on my feet. And I would really like to be able to still walk for the rest of my life. So as a teenager, I played basketball. And it was really fun to play basketball, but I was honestly not a good basketball player. And by the end of several tournaments, like several years in tournaments, I managed to get to the point where I was not the best player, but I learned how to shoot good 3-pointers. And so it came to the point where other teams would realize Lars has the ball, Lars is going to shoot a 3-pointer, and there's a good chance it's going to go in. You have to block Lars. And that was a real confidence booster, just knowing people recognized that I could shoot 3-pointers. Yay! And sure, we didn't win the big game in the end, and that's kind of sad. But like my team's story came to an end. My character journey, if you want to think of it that way, came to an end. And either it's a very positive one or it's a negative one, depending on the player. And I think that's one of the beauties of a sports story, is that sports are very straightforward in that way. The dirty details come in the character arcs of each teammate. Hannah says, this is kind of helpful. Well, I'm glad that this discussion with all of you guys has been helpful for you. Basketball. Art says, your feet were reconstructed? What happened? Well, very long story, real short. when I started, when I was in my preteen years and I began to go through my first growth spurt, my ligaments, especially my ankles, were very, very loose. And so my bones became slightly disconnected, and my own body weight shifted my legs forward and relocked them in a bad place over my ankles, which then actually crushed the structure of my feet over time and pounded them flat and began to warp and deform the bones of my feet. So what needed to happen was I needed to have a series of operations that would take out all of the deformed bones, put new bones, put special molds into my feet to act as new bones, as well as then place in pegs that keep everything in place. And all of my tendons and muscles were shortened beyond anything that most people will ever experience in their life. So that way they wouldn't stretch out again and become elastic, so much so that the bones could shift. And so when I, for instance, like I did dancing in high school and in college, I am more limited in some of the finer stuff that my feet can do. And another interesting thing, this comes from me doing weightlifting, I have a very hard time keeping my feet flat when doing squats. And it's because of the way that my ligaments have been shortened. My heels come up as I squat. It's impossible for me to keep my feet flat and firm on the ground. That's just the way that is. And when I did ballet stuff, I had nowhere near the range of motion that even the most inept ballet dancer has. And so I've had to relearn how to walk and how to do certain sports and activities in a way that accommodates less mobility. But you wouldn't be able to tell that if you just saw me walking on the streets, because I walk perfectly fine. But when it comes to the more fine-tuned aspects of sports, that is then where that's where I then definitely am lacking compared to other people, just physically, because my feet are reconstructed with fake bones, shortened muscles and tendons, and pegs. So, yeah, there you go. And that's all okay. Say, yeah, it sucked in the moment, but I got to be the cool kid in middle school because I was in a wheelchair. Yeah. Just let the football players race around with me everywhere you go, and you become best friends with everyone. Rose says, I feel sports, competition, anime, and shows are a little depressing for me since every competition needs losers, and a good amount of the time every opponent gets development. Yes, which Haikyuu does wonderfully. By the end of so many tournaments in Haikyuu, you're like, you feel really sad for the kids who lose because they came there wanting to win, and you find out about what they went through, and that's kind of the nature of competitive sports in general. There are losers. And what makes a good sportsman is someone who knows how to lose in a way that doesn't destroy them, but that motivates them to tackle it again and to try to become their best. And I think that that's where the true motivation and power of a good sports story comes through. TV Count says that's actually a thing. Yeah, it's got to hurt. Yes, it is. And the thing is this, is that it didn't really hurt when the deformation stuff was happening because it was a very slow process. But it's one that had definite effects because my feet turned out, became flat, my knees went wonky, and began to screw up my back after about a little more than a year of this, maybe closer to 2 years. And had this continued, it would have gotten close to paralyzing me. And so just because of the damage it would have done to my back. So hence why I needed to have the surgery and learn to walk properly, which sounds silly, but it was absolutely a thing. It took 2 years of surgeries and intensive therapy in order to walk properly. ISO says, in my HEMA sparring matches, my sparring partners understand my fighting style, so we all know how to counter each other's styles. The coach finally blocked one of my best attacks, and he laughed at me. But in the same way, I finally figured out what works against him, so it was a fun match. Excellent. Yes, is what we like to see. And now immediately I'm just thinking of The Princess Bride, where it's like, I how's the line go as they're fencing, as they're fencing, and it's like you must expect me to attack using Capopera. Yes, but I find that blah 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 cancels out Capopera. Oh, given the terrain, I find out that blah blah cancels out Capopera. Yes, unless the enemy has studied as Agrippa, which I have. It doesn't work as well when you don't know the entire line, but I love that they made that scene way longer than it was meant to be in the script. It's such a good sword fight scene. And ISO can probably speak better to it than I can, but I've been told that the fencing scene between Wesley and Indigo in The Princess Bride is one of the best sword fights ever done in cinema, because they're actually using real styles while fencing, and it makes sense what they're doing. Yes, there's a lot of flashiness. Yes, it gets silly, but it works with the fact that they're actually fighting each other using real styles and throwing out real terminology that other fencers understand. At least that's what I've been told. ISO would probably be able to correct me if I'm wrong with that. Heinz says, I'm so sorry. Hey, did you know that the price of the game of Undertale got lower? Yes, I saw that today, that it's only $1 now. But yeah, so coming back around to it, finally, that was a bit of a tangent. Remember, chapters need endings too. Give your chapters good, proper endings. Treat them like contained stories. I'd buy that for $1. Absolutely. So let's have a look at some examples before we dive into Deltarune and finish off the Krusie run. Huzzah! All right. So here we have 4 examples of basically chapters. So in the upper left-hand corner, we've got Dipper and Manliness. This is just an episode, and it's largely a standalone episode. But what's great about this episode, in terms of being its own self-contained story of Dipper trying to be manly when he's so cute and squeaky and weak, that he joins up with the Minotaurs to learn to be a real man. Yeah. That by the end of the episode, something that Dipper learns, and you can actually see it help to progress his character throughout the rest of the story. Yeah, sure, he still feels self-conscious because he's so young and he wants to be seen as older. However, he realizes that manliness isn't just simply about being sweaty, messy, and rough and tough, but that you can be a respected individual who likes girly things if you're a dude. Or manliness comes in all different kinds of forms. It isn't just in raw strength and brutality. And when Dipper learns that, you can see how Dipper is one step closer to figuring out who he should be, and he becomes way more confident in the fact that he's an absolute noodle-armed nerd. Rather than trying to be someone that he isn't, he tries to be better at who he is. And it's still a long process for him to get there, but his desire to be manly vanishes after that episode. And that's some good character development. Aisha says, fun fact, Zwerchau is a good counter to Zwerchau, and always counters Oberhau and Zornhau. Very well. Krumpau is a good, quick way of countering the Ox God. That Zwerchau, so it's Zwerchau. Okay. Nicht Zwerchau. Zwerchau. So, Ox God, that Zwerchau Ressen. Wow, that's a lot of hauen. Hauen! Man muss hauen! Mit dem Schwert hauen. So Zwerchau is a good counter to Zwerchau. And it is always counters Oberhau und Zornhau. Sehr gut. Und Krumpau ist eine sehr gut schnelle Weg, um den Oxguard nicht zu vermeiden, so entgegenzukämpfen. It's not the correct way of translating it, but it's the best I could get, because I do not know the proper word for countering in German. Trust me, what I said just makes sense. Yes, I trust you in that, ISO. Ro, how can people complain about chapters 3 and 4 costing money when Toby gave us 2 chapters of Deltarune for free? And Undertale costs next to nothing. Artists deserve to be rewarded for their work. I agree. I think that people just got used to things being free and saying, hey, if I really want to support him, I'll just buy his merch, which a lot of people do. And to which they then say, I should get something for free because I've bought your merch. But I absolutely agree with you, Ro. Support the artists, buy their stuff, which is one of the reasons why I have, you guys can't see it, but why I have the books that I do near me in my office area is because I like certain manga, and so I bought up those manga to support the mangaka. And yeah, same thing with some of the copies of cartoons and whatnot that I have. Want to support the creators. Now then, a good example of a chapter that does not progress the plot. It only does a little bit to help to progress a character arc, but it encapsulates a theme. Is this part right up here in the upper right-hand corner? One of these days, I should just read this on a live stream and see if anyone cries. Please be honest if we should ever do that. Let me know if you do cry, because it's such a good story. It's The Dog and the Dragon. Oh, it is so good. It's so beautiful. It's in the Stormlight Archive. It's in the book, The Rhythm of War. It's one of the chapters closer to the end of the book. And it has such a beautiful theme to it. And there's actually 2 main themes within it about depression and overcoming depression, and another theme about how people will view us one way and we view ourselves another, and oftentimes we view ourselves in the most defeated way possible, whereas everyone else sees us as someone far better than we appreciate our own selves to be. And it's such a beautiful chapter. It does not advance the plot, and it only slightly advances a character arc, but it advances one of the biggest ideas in the entire series, and it's so beautiful. Anthony J says, also, don't pirate manga and anime, please. Yarg. Yarg. Yep. It's difficult. especially when the proper channels cut you out or make it ridiculously expensive. That is one of the big problems in terms of, like, for instance, getting manga and anime, is how there are monopolies in making that stuff accessible to us, at least here in the States, mostly owned through Sony. And it's so frustrating. Whereas if you're willing to go to the actual original Japanese websites and try to get through them, these manga are way more accessible. But you then have to be able to read Japanese. Oh boy. Or Korean. Like, for instance, one of these days I'm going to have to do a video on Cage Murderous Level Up and The Game is Murder to Me, which are 2 manhwa that together tell one complete story. Holy cow, great story. And yes, the second half is behind a paywall and is not translated into English. Oh, that's rough. But it's such a good story, and I want more people to recognize it. Anyway, that's for later. I says, using the official German fencing terms in my writing is never my first choice. I usually find ways of explaining the attack in simple terms so that normal people can understand it, which is a good thing to do. And I actually do appreciate that. And that is a way for you, ISO, to get even more creative and do some fun stuff. Anthony says, don't pirate cartoons and comics. Buy the official stuff with money if you can. And Disney, please make the stuff actually available. Thank you. 12 says, pirate AAA games, not the manga. Why would I want to pirate trash? Anyways, moving on. So another example of a good chapter ending, Deltarune chapter 1, where we get a good character moment and a good theme moment for Susie, with her becoming friends with Chris and wanting now to actually be a hero. And then of course get Chris gets to learn a little bit more about hometown you get to learn more about hometown as you walk around with Chris. And then you get the ending, and it's like, and you get that cliffhanger ending. Woo. And for me, we actually haven't brought this up. Where do cliffhangers belong in all of this? Cliffhangers can be any kind of ending. A cliffhanger can be symphonic, it can be building block, it can be vague and open ending. Cliffhangers can end up in any of those categories. Say there's some people might argue that just by its nature it'd be more vague, more open-ended, but depending on how you tell your story, you can get a good idea sometimes of where a cliffhanger is going to end up. So it all just depends. Again, no one right way to write a story or an ending. Then we have a great symphonic ending to the Fellowship of the Ring, which, when Tolkien was writing his story, was not meant to be. It was not meant to be the ending to a book. It was just meant to be an ending to that part, as we then move on into the next part of the story of a 6-part saga. And so the ending, which is then captured beautifully well in the Peter Jackson adaptation, is symphonic, with Frodo embracing his role as a ring bearer and going to sacrifice himself by leaving for Mordor alone, but Sam being the ultimate Chad and supporter by joining up with Frodo. Merry and Pippin finding their courage to fight for Boromir after Boromir sacrifices himself to redeem himself from trying to take the ring from Frodo and protecting the hobbits from the Uruk-hai. Aragorn embracing his status as the rightful heir of Gondor and pledging to Boromir that he will not let Minas Tirith fall. Such great moments. I'm actually kind of getting chills thinking about it. Woo! Oh, it's so good. All these character moments brought together in a way that shatters the Fellowship and sets up this multi-pronged arc story now, as Merry and Pippin will be on their adventure, Frodo and Sam on their adventure, Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli on their adventure, and the story blows up. The ending to the Fellowship of the Ring is truly symphonic in its execution, and in terms of the movie, it is so beautifully met with the music. Woo! It's so dang good. Tolkien, you are a genius, I say. And Peter Jackson, you absolutely deserve credit for everything that went into that amazing ending for the Fellowship of the Ring. Charles says the true tragedy is the vague and open ending, full ending. That's actually a cliffhanger that never gets wrapped up. Again, it kind of depends on where you wish it to go. Sure, if it's a cliffhanger and you really are really attached to these characters and you have no idea what could happen next, that can be so frustrating. An excellent example of that is this movie right here. I'm going to put this into the chat. Next with oh crap, why am I suddenly forgetting his name? No. The movie Next with Nicolas Cage. Oh boy. This movie made me so mad. It's a really fun action flick, sci-fi action flick with Nicolas Cage, who's able to see into the future, but only to a certain degree. And he's trying to beat these terrorists who plan on unleashing a nuclear bomb. And it ends with a cliffhanger / vague open ending. It is so frustrating. It sucks. It was so bad. Such a bad way to end a movie that I really enjoyed. The kind of ending, I mean, I'm sure the plot hook's just not wrapped up, exactly. That's the movie Next with Nicolas Cage. if you want to get angry at something and nearly throw food at the television, that's the movie to watch. So those are the big things that I wanted to touch on as far as writing endings go. Now, the next big thing then for us to do is, of course, to wrap up Deltarune. Huzzah! So, let's... Whoop! I'm right now getting things set up right here. And... Whoop! And I'll then share my screen. Those of you who have not yet seen the true swirl, we are about to get to it. One sec here. There we go. Huzzah! Schwell says next was actually the entire commentary of the film from the movie's critics of the time. Excuse me. I got a drink of water in. Okay, so let us share the screen. Yes, we're going to use the entire screen. Yes, we want audio. All right. We have the eternal swirl. And swoop. No, come on back to it. There we go. Okay. Oop, I just realized something that I should do, because once I begin sharing the screen this way, then it's really hard for me to see what other people have to say about what is going on. So I'm going to pull up a special screen right here. Huzzah! All right, we are all good to go. Okay. Let's see here. Quickly checking inventory. Now then, what we want to... Now then, as far as the ending to Deltarune Chapter 2 goes, we want to have a look at what kinds of things are wrapped up. Because this chapter is a very strong story within a story, where we have learned about Birdly and Noelle. We've learned more about Susie and about Chris and about Ralsei, and things that are happening in the world in general. So we want to focus, as we get to this last part of the game thus far, what really stands out in terms of good character progression, or just overall plot progression. Okay. Now we're moving up properly. Wait a second. Just double checking that this is... Yep, Noelle's room. We are good to go. Alright. Avoid getting shocked at all costs. Last time I talked about actually having once been electrocuted. It really sucks. Oof. Like that. Yeah, no. Dang it. Alright, we're just taking all the hits. There we go. Okay. Alright, time to let's see here. Time to now use this. There we go. I'm not wearing it. How sweet. Okay, there we go. A little bit of health before we get this fight. There she is. All right. Joel says the screen record got me like downward spiral. Ah, my sweet idiot children, you are just in time to witness my world domination. With Noelle in my possession, it is only a matter of time before her will turns and she unleashes her power, blanketing the world in... Too late, dumbass. Noelle's with Birdly. Oh, then who is this? Oh, Birdly! But he's been intercepted. My control plugs are now suitable for teenagers. Now the whole family can enjoy eternal servitude. I wish I had these when I was a teacher. Just plug in the troublesome kids, you will now learn. Sort of regal, mostly cruel laughter. Wait, then, where's Noelle? Laughter becomes more cruel. How I wonder I actually know the answer. Enough already. Oh dear, I do sincerely quite like you two. It will be a shame to force you to serve me. An enjoyable shame. Alright. Yes, and that was cruel. Okay, Queen is defenseless. We are going to... Let's see here. I'm not going to do a group throw. We're going to have just Susie do a throw. And we're going to do defense. We're going to need that TP. Okay, there we go. That was a little bit. The wire was cut. Queen, think of the Lightners. Are we supposed to make them happy? Is that not what I'm doing? This is one of the things that actually makes Queen such an interesting villain. Is that she actually is trying to do the right thing, but obviously is going about it in a bad way. Alright, we are going to do another group and another defense. There we go. The wire was cut. Think, Lightners have already been enslaved by me and my kin. Oh boy. Ah, yes, the drink. Oof. This is not a good start. Okay, and she is now filled up. Okay, Queen is protected. We are going to do a group toast. A glass of acid is generating her shield. So you gonna drink all that? No, this is all mine. You can't have it. Alright, Queen, yes, sip from your acid. Each day they spend hours worshipping in glowing rapture, which is kind of what we're doing right here while we're doing this live stream. I mean, let's be honest. This game is speaking to us right here. Bro says, so an anti-villain. Kind of. Our screen of funny animals and candied games. Alright. Let's see here. We are going to... Let's see here. We're going to do a toast. You're going to also do a toast. And you are going to do a heal prayer on Susie. Because we need our big girl to stay up a little bit longer. Wow, spoken like a real Krusie. Why did they make it so emotional? Susie made a toast to Queen. You know, I actually never realized that you get that little bit of Chris making a very emotional toast to Queen. I'm just going to say this right here. I think one of the reasons why there's an emotional toast to Queen is because Queen has been trying to act like a good mother figure. And while we, as the players, generally like Toriel, I think we're going to learn in Chapter 3 that there's a greater rift between Chris and Toriel than we believe. And that it's not that Queen just hasn't been a good mother or trying to be a good mother to Noelle, but also to Chris. And I think that's something that we're going to see more of when we get to Chapter 3. Susie made toast to Queen? Pretty cool how we're going to kick your ass. It's a good thing I have no standards for this. Alright, Queen, yes, you keep sipping from your acid. Alright, fully healed Susie. Staring, tapping to receive joy. Staring, tapping to avoid pain. Oh boy. Yeah, and that's people, that's people living online, ain't it? Alright. We are going to do another toast. And another toast. And then, let's see here. Darn, can't do that. We're going to give Chris some butt juice. The rug made from the butt of a skunk. It's one of the greatest lines from the movie Zootopia. Queen sips from her acid. Balsy used the butt juice. There we go. Until recently, when the town's internet disappeared, now the refuge they take in the screens will slowly fade. Yeah, see, in a weird way, she's trying to be a hero and be what the Lightners need. But the thing is that she doesn't fully understand what the Lightners actually need. Okay, so let's see here. We're going to throw, and then magic. I'm going to heal prayer Ralsei. Ah, dang it. I thought I was going to get 2 with that one. Okay. Wire was cut. Alright, we're now totally good. Noelle, who will help her? Her strange and sad searches. Who will answer them? Oh boy. Again, this just feels way too on point. Alright, finally we can do a full group loosen. Everyone loosens Birdley. There we go. It is what I wondered until the night appeared. So the night is relatively recent in this case. And create this most wonderful world of darkness. Charles says, Chris is without the gift of voice, and someone who wants to truly cater to him is something they need. Rose says, in which ways do you think Toriel is a bad mother? We don't really know. What I would guess is, because this is kind of hinted at, I think it is that Chris is trying to find someone, for instance, who will actually, listen to them. Toriel wants her inner world to kind of act a certain way. She's uptight, and we get that Chris is a prankster. And it's okay for a parent to be more uptight and a kid to be a prankster. There just needs to be understanding. And I feel like some of that understanding is missing. We'll learn more when we get to the next chapter. Because this is just, honestly, mostly speculation on my part. We just don't really quite know yet. Alright. Well, we are all going to toast. Everyone toasted to Queen. Queen sips from her acid. Now the path is clear. All I have to do is expand this dark world. Oof. Curse you and all your fuzzies. Alright. Let's see here. We are all going to do again another group toast. Everyone toasted to Queen. Queen sips from her acid. We're getting so close. Then, with the world covered in darkness, no one will have to suffer anymore. I mean, it's how some people think on during if they live up really far north during the summer. If only the world was just coated with darkness, we'd all just be so much better. Get the sun out of here. Everyone toasted to Queen. All right. Boom. Instead, everyone can live in my perfect mansion, every day blissfully worshipping me like we both deserve. Oof. Drama! Yeah, no, we don't need any of that online drama. Thank you very much, Queen. Alright, we're going to group loosen. And now, stop resisting and welcome the new age of darkness. I've already lived through enough of the dark age. Oof. Did not mean to go into that. I did it again. Alright. We are going to... We're going to do another group loosen. Everyone loosens Birdley. We won't let you control everyone with your wires. Whoa, when did I say I would do that? No, time for more tipsy... Oof. I'm not doing too hot now this time. Alright, act. Let's see here. We are going to toast. And we're going to have another toast. And we are going to use Healing Prayer on Chris. You toasted the Queen! Susie toasted the Queen! All hail to the Queen. Bye-bye. You're literally controlling Burley now. Oh yeah, that's just only for him. Don't worry, this is only just for him. So this is how democracy dies to a robo-mama. We're gonna save the dual heal just a little bit longer. Group toast, everyone toasted the Queen. All hail the Queen, bye-bye. Wait, did you want one? No! Oh boy, I forgot about the topsy-turvy one right here. Ah! Get away from me! Okay, I did not get hurt that one, so we're going to do another group toast. There we go. Enough, you foolish children. You may have survived my attacks regular, but I've secretly been downloading my ultimate move this whole time. Now perish in the bosom of my hellish reign. Oh, yay, we're finally going to perish in the bosom. Which has been... Oof. Oh. Okay. We're going to have to do the throw. And we're going to have to do another healing prayer on Ralze. There we go, I got 2. Okay. So my final move was supposed to be cooler, but the internet is down. Oh yeah. Oof. Okay. There we go. Axe. And we're going to do a group loosen. There we go. Finally. Not bad, you foolish children. Rose says, I love the fact that if you fight Queen, Queen says you drain the HP from her chair. What are you doing? Why isn't my control wire working? Thanks to you, my comrades. Kindness, their mercy. Now, it's time for me to take my freedom. Queen, you may have mastered the number 3, but can you stand up against 4 of us? Running simulation 4, the number 4. You are definitely going to kick my ass. Unless... Oh no! What the... Oh, we are such great heroes. Wait one now a second. You cowardette, you... Boosh. Alas, Birdly, just now was nothing more than simple bravado. The truth is, that wire already absorbed all of my succulent energy juices. He's absolutely pulling a squints right here from the Sandlot. Everything getting dark. Only a kiss from a beautiful gamer girl can save me now. Birdly. And a hallucination. What? Like, get your, like, losing consciousness and stuff, but could you speak up? One of the 3 times that we so far get to see Susie make that face, and only twice for Chris, once for Birdly, and for Birdly, it's a hallucination. Hey, that's a relief. Well, gotta hurry and save Noelle, so later. This is Toby taking the piss of his own most loved tropes. Yes. But I can read her heart, Chris, like a health meter. And it's beeping for love. Well, enough tales, Chris. Good luck. This is one of those moments where people are like, this seals it for Susie and Noelle, which again, ship whatever it is that you wish to ship. But most definitely, this is Birdly misunderstanding the situation. May the smarts not be with you. Okay. All right. File saved. The power of boss battles glows within me. Chris, your deep concern for me is dexterous. But stay sanguine, my fellow bluebird. I'll find some way to help you yet. All right. Well, I guess I am blue, so... All right. You know what? I probably should have also got at least 2 more items for this fight, because this is going to be a rough one. The night. The roaring night. Today it deigned to create this world. Reaching its long hand to the sky, it coursed its will into its blade. and made, thrusting the fountain from the earth. Unfortunately, the world they created is trapped within the confines of the library. If only we had a way to make more darkness, we might be able to cover the whole world. That is when I realized this power of the will, this power of determination. Bam, 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 Undertale. This is not something like is this not something that all Lightners possess? If one was simply determined enough, could not anyone make a dark fountain? So then, if the night has taken its leave, then I will simply make a new one. Which is why I don't think that Chris is the knight. I think that Chris learned from what happened here in this monologue moment, which I did a video recently about villainous monologues. Go check it out. And I think that based off the conversation that Chris had with Susie and wanting to have that adventure with Susie earlier, that kind of got messed up because of what's all been going on with Noelle and Birdley, that's probably why Chris opened up another dark fountain. Though there could be way more to it, since Chris also goes and slashes Toriel's tires. The cops are coming, and I personally think that Asgore is going to show up as well. So that's my speculation. Noelle, honey, darling, sweetie gravy, how do you find the giant hand? Great, and how do you feel about world domination? Boom! Ow, ooh, ouchie mama! Yeah, good job, Susie. Susie, you came to save me. Somehow I knew you would. You did? Well... Hair went frizzy. Wait. You need to get out of here. Hurry. Huh? Whoa. Now we have our Ursula moment. Getting all big. Rose says, Half-Bred did a good video how in Deltarune believes bluebirds represent someone who is overshadowed. Burley and Chris are both overshadowed by the people, okay. Yeah, by someone by other people at this point. So, yep, I agree. I like that interpretation. And it definitely fits both of them. Seems that you failed to notice the giant frickin' robot in the middle of my palace. This isn't good. She's invincible like this. Huh? She's been bragging about her final form all day. Now that we've seen her final form, you think growing a few inches is going to help? Yes. Great response. Are we cool to take over the world now? Susie, let's just give up and... Hell, if we're giving up now... Susie? So what if you got another form? We've got one too! Chris, Rosie, come on. Yes! I love it. This is our ultimate... wait a sec. Now that you mention it... Oh no, it appears I am evenly matched. I hope you won't mind if I don't hold back. And there we go. Yes, thank you for stating the obvious, Ralsei. Any bright ideas on how we're going to get out of this one? We could try flapping our arms. Fear not, your knight in glow-in-the-dark armor is here. Birdley? Yes. Chris, Susie, my energy is still too low to help you fight, but with our powers combined, we might have a Power Rangers moment. So I found help for you. Behold, comrades. On your quest against Queen, we've made all sorts of buddies, right? Using our junk-making skills, we modified everyone to work together. I shall also take credit for this. How did you get here? Chris, Susie, behold the ultimate group projects with a splendid base. My strongest JPEGs, flashing lights, happy, the bravery, meow noises, meow, which is appropriate because I have a big cat right next to me right now. My energy, squeaky noises, tender loving care, fresh cooking, oh, you better believe it, organization, and mostest of all, whatever this thing is. After someone to break communism machine, the squad has arrived! Master Knight DH, since you mentioned about writing endings, funny thing is I'm working on the final chapter of Project Guard Charm, though the draft is ultimately just a pitch. Hey, but you're working on it, which is awesome! Finally, a worthy opponent.
Round 1.
Round 1. Fight. Alright. Okay, let's see here. Oh, yep. Okay. Not a good hit on my part. The time for words is over. Now is the time to fight. Only. Oof. Got hit a little bit right there. The cityscape roars past. I forgot. It's been so long. Okay, there we go. There's a good hit. Ah, just kidding. I totally will keep monologuing as I kick at your face. Oof. Ah, I took some bad hits right there. Alright, let's see here. Items. We're all going to use a little bit of butt juice right here on the thrash machine. Alright. The time has come for Noelle to realize her own strength, her own will, her own determination. Oh, you're having her play Undertale right now? Oof. Alright. Alrighty, let's see here. We're gonna fight. There we go, there's a good hit on you. Focusing into her blade, she will create a Neo Dog Fountain. Then another, then another. Well, thank you. Oof. Alright. Susie's mashing the buttons. I'm mashing the buttons right now, I can tell you that. There we go. Yes, stamp around in rage there, lady. Round 2. You must fight. Then, when the whole world is covered in darkness, she and everyone can live in bliss, free of fear and suffering. Oof. Oof. Alright, that was a bad little hit right there. So, let's see here. You know what? Yeah, we'll take the self-fix. Okay, self-fix engaged. A healing aura fired up, but the TP cost is increased. That's what happens when we use junk like this. Totally not punch out. Rose says this is probably the most unique Deltarune Undertale boss. She is one of the most interesting thus far, both in terms of personality and the game mechanics. Games like to copy the punch-out format because it's a good format, no judging. Oh yeah. Everyone working together. Yes. Okay. Chris, Susie, why don't you help me too? Create the world of your dreams. Also my dreams. Oof. Oh, I took way too much damage that time around. Let's see here. We're going to use an item. We're going to use another bit of buck juice. Alright. Susie. Bro, just let me karate chop you and you can have as many skateboards as you want. Alright. Okay. Oh, but that way too soon. And Chris, my dearest Krusie, you can have as many... Yes, what do you want me to have? Okay, I don't remember what you liked. I like to have how to draw dragons. Woo! Oh boy. Okay, here we go. Oh, boom. All right. Hey, was there a third guy? Yes, his name is Ralze. Ooh. Yeah, I took that one on the chin. But we can still do this! Yeah! Join me, and all of you will become super strong and cool. Meanwhile, I don't need to improve because I'm already perfect and can shoot lasers from my fancy glass. I mean, I am a little bit jealous of that, but, Ice Mascot fan art, that's what Chris likes. Oof. Okay, let's see here. Susie mashes the controls, trying to punch more. Let's see here. We're going to act, we're going to self-fix. It's probably the best way to go. There we go. Healing aura fired up, but the TP cost has increased. Yeah, I know. Okay, I believe I've made my point. I'm going to procedurally loop my dialogue now. I love how self-aware that part is. Oof. I took way too much damage that time around. There we go. Round 3. Fights. The time for words is over. Now's the time to fight only. Ah, yeah, there you go. Oof. Dang it. What the heck was I even thinking with that? Round 3 begins. Queen's attacks got more extreme. Okay. Item time. We're going to use another butt juice. Okay. Haha, just kidding. I'll totally keep monologuing. Oof. I forgot just how difficult this next part becomes. Alright, we're going to take the turbo dodge. The dodge enhancing aura fired up. Okay, let's see what you can do now, Queenie. Oof. Ay. Okay, self-fix time. Focusing into a blade, yada yada yada. I forgot how much I hate this. How much I hate this part right here. Okay, there we go. Oof. Ah, you caught me with that next part. Okay. Butt juice time. Okay. Ah, time to get serious, and she and everyone can live in fear. Alright. And here we go again. Alrighty. Attack. There we go. Good hits. A hit. A fine hit. To quote Treebeard. Okay then, let's see here. Gotta use another item. We're going to use... I got 3 revivements. What the hey? Dark candy time. Alright. Susie. Oof. Okay. There we go. Good hits. Alrighty. There we are. Woo! Okay. Let's see here. Let us go. We're getting close. I can feel it in my bones. Oh, now we get to the final attack time. Oh, why am I going into her attacks, dang it? What am I even doing? There we go. Battle power dropping. Now, don't worry, Queen. We're all looking pretty beat up at this point. I definitely did not do as well as I could have. Listen well. You may have defeated me, but I still possess one thing you three will never have. A really sweet mix track. Detachable hands. Yeah, that's kind of hard to beat. Not gonna lie. All right. Why is dodging a subroutine? It's not that complex. Oh, it can be. Noelle, darling. After all that work, we lose. Honey. Sweetie. Pie. Gravy. And there we all are. Take the pin I gave you and stab the earth, creating our new supreme empire. What's wrong, Noelle? I know it would make you happy. Or should I, with the last 1% of my battery, crush Susie into 8 bits? There we go. When it comes to Susie, Noelle activates. Leave Susie alone. You think listening to you makes me happy? No. I'll never be happy. Not if I'm controlled by you. Why can't you understand that? There we go. Here's Noelle. Coming to a realization that unfortunately she won't fully recall when she's in the light world. Of being able to stand up to her own mother. Perhaps my computations were miscalibrated. Noelle, disregard me and, with your own power, choose the world that makes you happy. Oh boy. There's the screen that you get in the eyes from Spampton when he talks when he gets close to talking about the night. Queen, are you okay? Seems she ran out of battery power. Guess we can seal the fountain now, right, everybody? Everybody? Queen, she said, choose the world that makes you happy. I don't want to live in a world ruled by her, but if that wasn't the case, I wonder if this world wouldn't be so bad. No, Rod's like, wait, what? No, I did not expect the story to go this way. Susie, don't you think so too? Now you mention it. Chris, isn't this world just better? We make so many friends here, you know? I've never had an adventure like this before. With axes and battles and magic, everything can be healed with a little spell. And no matter what happens, no one tells us what to do. Gosh, yeah. So even if things were really scary just now, I mean... So is there any reason not to? Not that I can think of. Me neither. Hey, what about Chris's saying all this? Then, Noelle, let this be my real apology. Summon the halberd. Concentrating my will into this blade, I will make a new fountain and unleash a bright future. A future that shines for us. A future whose brightness is born from darkness. Stop! I love the shock looks, even in this bit format right here. What in the world are you all doing? Stop. Stop. Do you realize what will happen if you do that? I will just... You'll bring the roaring. And his eyes go blank. When the light is subsumed by a shadow. By shadow. Not a shadow, but by shadow. When the fountains fill the sky. All will fall into chaos. Chaos, chaos! The titans will take form from the fountains. And I think that so when you look at the titans and you see the eyes... You see the save symbols, and you also see the eyes are at the very beginning of the Dark World in Deltarune Chapter 1. I think that that's what happened to the previous Dark World. The surviving Darkners crushed by the darkness. will slowly, one by one, turn into statues, leaving the Lightners to fend for themselves, lost eternally in an endless night. No imagination, no purpose, no way forward. Is that your idea of paradise? Well, for some people it is. The shocked looks. Interestingly, shocked, not for Noelle. Not for Noelle, which is interesting. I did not know that. You didn't? But your whole plan was to... I'm just a computer, LMAO. I don't know everything. I was just guessing based off the knight's actions. Why the heck hell would I want to end the world? Well, that's a relief. I'm sorry. After everything, I just caused trouble for you again, Noelle. That's okay, Birdly. I understand. I thought about it while charging my battery. You cannot calculate other people's feelings. Yes, exactly. You understand how I feel? Not really, LMAO. I just don't want Noelle to be sad. Well, I'm glad you two kind of get it now. Guess we all made a pretty sweet team in the end. And the real heroes are in the fist like, what the heck? No, we freaking didn't. Can you let go of us now? Oh, yeah. Susie, hey, you stood up to Queen, not half bad. Really? Yeah. Just guess you gotta wake up soon, huh? Huh? Everything got so intense I forgot it was a dream. And I just hope I get to have more dreams like this. Hey, Noelle, when you wake up, well, I just want to say, there we go, Queen. Well, then I suppose it is time for you all to exit. The running program, Tender Goodbye, exec. I will miss each of you. Noelle, your unneeded honesty. I love it. Dora's Adrian, yeah, Noelle is in shock. Yeah, Noelle isn't shocked. Her expression doesn't change. We know why Chris's doesn't change, but not Noelle's. Susie, your foolish bravery. Chris, your chill vibes. Ah, yes, thank you. Burgley? It doesn't have to be goodbye, Queen. Chris can take you back to our castle town. You and all our recruits can live there. Oh. Cancel. Deleting Tender Goodbye. Alright, time to do what we came here for. Hey, Noelle. You can see the real Susie. Just know that maybe she's... Look, she doesn't have a tail, okay? Yes, love it. Okay, I got it. It's not a secret. Let's just go, Chris. Pushing everything along. Thank you for intervening, Queen. Yes. All right. Even when Ralsei is giving a happy goodbye, he's not acknowledged. Yeah. Poor Ralsei. It looks like we're here again. Huh? The roaring night. Whatever. There they are. They're making these fountains. But is that really a bad thing? I'm sorry, Susie, but it kinda is. Since they started showing up, everything's gotten a lot more interesting, hasn't it? Well, we don't have to think about that now. Chris, it's your turn. It was as if your very soul was glowing. And Chris does this without our prompts. In interesting little ways, we get to see a little more autonomy from Chris. And we now come to back again here. Huh? What happened? Oh, it was a dream, wasn't it? Huh? A dream? That was all? A dream? Of course, that must have been a dream. Such feelings, such thoughts. Oh, sweet lady of justice. To think I would ever think Susie would be. Susie? Susie, what are you doing here? You invite us to study, remember? Oh, right, what? Studying with them? Noelle, heavens to yikes. They're... Well, I guess we could try it. Oh, my alarm! I'm going to be late for my shift with Miss Boom. Oh no, how is it that late already? Well, adieu, everyone. I must gather my book belongings. Now, how I love the texture of freshly picked up books. I mean, anyone who's been to the bookstore recently knows that feeling. Now, let us hasten, my dear Noelle. Oh, the awkwardness. Good day, Chris. Susie. That weird little knowing grin by Chris and by Susie. See ya. Looking for the tail. What are you looking for? Something? Nothing. Bye. Chris is like, yes. Heck is her problem anyway. Maybe treat someone who just saved the world. Chris, hey, wait a sec, Chris. We just actually saved the world, didn't we? And we really are heroes. And no one even knows. Guess it's better that way, though, right? People would freak out if they knew this world's in danger. Though, it kind of sucks no one else to forget, too. Whatever. Let's get out of here. Yeah, but not before I investigate everything. Looks like someone accidentally printed off a lot of useless emails. It's a computer. It's not something but a blue screen. Looks like it's crashed. It's full of many backup devices, like extra mice, extra keyboards, or extra maracas. And there's the Ferris wheel. Various posters talking about internet safety. You suddenly thought about how your day might have been different. If the poster with that orange cat was still up on the wall. Yes. Yes. Wait, orange cat? Say what? It's a computer. The monitor is flickering brightly. The closet is spacious and full of old electronics. A large person could easily fit inside. All right. Not yet time to pick up everything, I guess. Looks like the library's state-of-the-art public laptop. Someone left it on. Before you left, you gathered up everything in the room. No reason to go back in there, but I kind of want to. I love reading books, especially the books upstairs. It's a book. Book one about souls. Read it? Let's read. The soul has long been called many things. The fount of our compassion, the source of our will, the container of our life force. But even now, the true function of it is unknown. How to care for a human. It's a book for monsters, not how to care for humans. Look inside. There's photos of unfamiliar humans inside. You shut the book quickly. How to care for humans. It's a book about monsters. Let's look in the back. According to the card in the back, looks like your mother took it out repeatedly many years ago. Yep. It's delicious. This must be what they meant by flavor text. All right. Bad Noelle, leave her alone, dang it. Fun value event. Garfield reference? Possibly. Why does Chris hate being human all much? Who knows? Man, it got late, didn't it? Guess you should go home, huh? All right, you don't have to say it. Don't want to walk home by yourself, huh? Well, if you're going to make me, I guess. Let's go. Thank you, Susie. Chris, we could go anywhere. And you brought us to the teen zone. Yes, I did. I was hoping to see if I could get any special reaction, but nope. Don't worry, Susie. We're going to where you really want to go. Back to the school. Our old Schulhouse. Yeah, we're ready for the Sadie Hawk. I'm ready for the Sadie Hawkins dance. I don't know about you guys. Wait. Let's talk with Temmie. Tem still study hard. Tem get smart, go to college, achieve dream. Then Tem become. As if you could even envision it. Oh. Ooh, flowers. Well, we do have White Day tomorrow. Remember, if you are a man who got chocolate from anyone, from any lady on Valentine's Day, you now owe her 3 times the amount of chocolate tomorrow. Looks like motivational quotes from various literature. Okay. Come on, Susie, I want to show you something cool. The throne of the gods grows higher. Is this hubris? This tutorial is written in cursive on a dry erase board. Seems like it hasn't been erased in a very long time. Yeah, dry erase definitely looks a certain way after a while. You ran the water fountain. It's lukewarm. Ugh. Oh, that's horrible. Let's go! Dorcas Daydream says, my man doesn't owe me anything tomorrow. I don't take handouts. Hey, but would you really say no to chocolate? So this is your castle town. It's not bad. Chris, Susie, on behalf of everyone I oppressed, thank you. I am going to be your wacky roommate now. Oh, no. Oh, well, I've dealt with some pretty wacky roommates. Chris, I bet you have a lot of people to talk to, but you don't have to do everything at once. Save and take a break anytime you want, okay? Oh, but we are going to try to hit all the ending stuff. Thanks a lot for the lovely city. Now it's nearly as good as the one I made in Minecraft. Do tell me more about this Minecraft game. I hear it's made by a small little developing group. Ah, music. Oh my. Looks like it costs money just to have a free sample. This place is a great deal. All kinds of new customers. Want a free sample? Just $4.99 to try a bit of these clothes. I think you've missed what it means for free sample. Hey there, little thing. Okay, fine, I'll leave you alone. I've been training. Don't you ask what I've been training, though. I don't know, but I'm really curious now. It may never open again. I actually think that it will open up in a later chapter. Who did this to my mannequin? As your prince, I demand someone fix this. Is anyone listening? I was listening. Don't yell that from across town. Hey, Lancer. Hi, Susie. Oh, thank you, Lancer. We're building up the area to be a bit more board-like. The pond men will be happy, too. Ooh, we're going to see some development. Alright, let's talk Lancer. Good song. Good song. Yeah, okay. Nice town, Chief. I think we're going to like it here. Cool city. As thanks, you can listen to all sorts of songs here. Don't think it'll be cheap, though. It's free. What? So we got all kinds of music. A holiday studio. Do-do-do-do-do. Christmas in March. Do-do-do-do. And my castle. Oh, yay. Yeah, all this music. Say, Toby knows what people like. It's pronounced rules. Wait, lantern? Ah, okay. The music for Sean. Okay, that's cool. I actually haven't explored that too much. But let's keep things a-going. So, let's see here. It's not the bakery. We gotta go to the cafe to get the next... Good evening, boss. We found a strange hooligan trying to turn the cafe into a second bakery. He was spinning and crying as my men carried him out. We do not predict any further difficulties. Now, please, you've worked hard, boss. Relax and enjoy yourself. Recommendation. For the young prince, we recommend the vanilla green tea. There's not much to go off besides her color. Let's see if we can get any other recommendations. For the young human, we recommend a chocolate blueberry latte. Oh, it's not too bad. Boss, try not to use all of the sugar. Good evening, boss. Please relax and enjoy yourself. Recommendation. For the young prince. Wait, what about Susie, though? Let's see if I can get Susie's. Nope. Interesting. Boss, this cafe is so unrefined, so plain. Why don't we make it into an animal cafe? You can be one of the animals too, boss. No thanks. Just wait until Sans gets here. The jukebox feels broken. Feels like you might never find a working one. Yes, cleaning. It's nice to make friends that like good, clean fun. Young masters, thank you for such a wide space to clean. People here have such clean hearts as well. Yes, we've tried. Alright, bakery time. Alright. Mamma mia, I was rejected from the cafe. What can I do now? Mamma mia, you returned my cake to me. Mwah, I will never forget your kindness. Every day I will give you dizzying flavors. Every day the flavors will become stronger. That's the power of Baker's arms. You got spin cake. Yay, we got the spin cake. Anything else we can get from you? Alright. Malleus. Well, welcome to Top Bakery. I am this bakery smith Malleus. I don't know what any of these strange tools are for, but using my skills I can fuse items to create new ones. Yes, let's fuse... Let's create the spike bands. But for that, we're going to need to... Let's see here. We're going to have to first take off the iron shackle. I'm going to give you a chainmail. Damn, guess I'm cursed. Oh, just you wait. Let's see here. Top bakery. Let's fuse some items. We are going to make the spike band. Really? Fuse it? Haha! Let's feel my technique. Yes, perfect. Let's see here. Bow tie tension bit. Tension bow. Now, we won't be getting the twisted sword anytime soon. But let's have a quick look here. So we are going to get you the spike band. There, Susie. Can't say no to spikes. Exactly. I know what you like. Let's see here. We're going to take the big shot bow tie. And we're going to give you the chainmail. A letter for me? Okay, let's see here. Alright. Then, Talk Bakery. Let's see here. I'm going to use fused items. Oh, wait, that's right. I need to go get the tension bit for my inventory. So we're going to get that here later. Let's chat. Bread, what is this technique you speak of? Okay. Boop. Alright, let's have a talk here. Well, what have we here? You managed to find another shadow crystal? Was this the salesman that found the crystal in the old machine? I wonder if perhaps long ago that old machine was very important to someone. A certain lightener, perhaps. Maybe it's just a hunch. At any rate, it's truly unfortunate a Darkner decided to steal that power. Or is it fortunate because of that you found a new crystal? Yeah, let me hold on to that for you. You've collected 2 shadow crystals, but don't let your guard down. I feel your next opponent may be... In reality, it may be impossible to win unless you use the power of the Shadow Mantle. Yeah, it may look like an old scrap of cloth, but... I can't find it. Did someone take it? Well, now there goes their one chance of victory. The Shadow Mantle that King had in Chapter 1. So we're going to have to find that thing later. Let's see here. Anything new to get? No, not really. Okay. Woo. Time for an exit. Storm's definitely going to be like a lead up to the boss at least. It'd be cool if the final world is Card Kingdom version 2. Interesting. Like I said, let's get... You touched the light, you thought about how you can't go back to the side world anymore. Consider this carefully. Oh yeah. And after a long day, the town has grown once again. You are filled with a certain power. Let's go to storage. We are going to put the revivement into there, as well as the revive and that. Then we are going to get that tension bits. Alright. Alright, let's quickly forge something. Well, welcome to our top bakery. Alright, fuse items. Let's see, I already got that. So we'll do the tension bow. Fuse it. Feels like my technique. Let's feel my technique. Alright, we got the tension bow. Now then, we are going to... get the chainmail off. And... oh wait, the tension bow actually doesn't... but it increases our TP. Yes. That is what we want. That will come in handy later. Maybe. I would love to know how... I would love to know if we will be able to take the information from this game, from this playthrough, and put it on over into the next game. Into chapters 3 and 4. How about strawberry cake as a room-warming gift? There's a slice of cake in your fridge, Susie. But it's not cauldron fresh. Alright, let's have a look. Let us have a look at what's all in Susie's room. There we go. So, there's the statue. Jealous of my cool statue, Chris. But no, it's not me. It's just cool. Literally. So, this was in the gift you gave me. How did you have this, Chris? Ooh, can I make it a little dress? No touching my doll when I'm not here. Yes. So, we've got all the Susie stuff in here. Let's have a quick look over in Chris's room. This maybe isn't the best thing in your room. It's some decorative moss. Looks delicious. Why does your room get moss? Alright. I keep ending up in this situation. Can't say I'm a fan, or can I? Welcome, this entire castle is now my room. I was going to set up something upstairs. Why, I already have everything I could ever want. Friendship, fans, and a small round boy. Now go and play with your friends, Peach Boy. Peach Boy, Peach Boy! Susie, Chris, Toothpaste Boy. Queen is teaching me all sorts of things about being a bad guy. She's like, how do I put this? A third father to me. A girl dad, if you will. You mean a mom? Alright. Whoa, wait. We have to inspect the bed. It's a pikeless bed. Okay. Wait a second. No, let's see. A pink saver. Let's see here. I was hoping to see what Chris's stat is. If we are moss connoisseurs or still a bed checker. The door is locked. Alrighty. Let's come and have a conversation with you, King. No, girl, dad. He knows what he said. Exactly. There's a status page to check. Okay, got it. You may have bested me, but you'll soon face someone more fearsome, more tyrannical than you could ever imagine. Queen, we already met her. What? Now, wow, nice hamster wheel. It's hamster wheel, hamster wheel. I am a villain. So you two have come to humiliate me. No, I'm serious. It's cool. That water bottle, however, do not speak ill of the royal water bottle. It's nothing compared to the one in my mansion. Materialistic as always. Materialism evaluation denied. I simply give myself the treatment I deserve. You slept curled up on a dirty throne every day. Enough, wench! What purpose have you here, Queenie Beanie? Just thought I would send a message, Kingy Weenie, that you don't have to worry about Lancer. I will be looking after him from now on. After all, I am his mother. When was that decided? Arbitrarily right now. Do what you please with the boy, but if he cries, bounce him on the ground like a ball. Wow, I think it's time to abort this conversation. As you wish. Oh, quite sorry, my king. Queen hath a new man about town now. Who? Yeah, who? I think that I left my puzzle on post-haste. Who was that? Sigh. That was my son's lesser father. Cannot calculate someone less than you. Begone! Bye-bye, Kingy Wingy. Oh boy, what a conversation. By the way, did you want anything from the store? Cashews. Order processed. Oh boy, what a fairly odd couple this is. We have nothing to discuss. Oh, King, I beg to disagree. We have a lot to discuss after that conversation. Okay. Well, say hometown is looking pretty great. Say we have all of our recruits. They're looking fantastic. Say that's all looking phenomenal, but it is, in order to not be here for the next hour, we are going to begin progressing the larger plot of Deltarune. And around, they act like a married couple. Exactly. A very weird married couple. Any thoughts on Mechanical Instinct? On Mechanical Instinct, I'm Omega. Are you talking about like if robots suddenly have instinct? I'm not sure. There's a lot to contemplate there. Oh, Alphys, hell if I'm going any further. Already close enough to getting banned from school. I don't want to be banned from outside of school too. That's a thing, right? Oh, Susie. Hi, Chris. You getting your project done? Oh, my bike, it's totaled. I had a little crash. You see, there was this police officer and her. It's complicated. How are you doing? Let's talk about school before we complain about the police. Oh, it's your project going with their Susie. What? You went to the library together? With Noelle and Burley? That's amazing, Chris. While you were there. This had nothing to do with me, but Team Zone seems to have some good anime reviews, you know? Not sure if you and the gang were checking out as you studied. Next time you go, you might want to casually bring that up among your fellow teens. I know your dad liked Mew Mew too, at least. Again, nothing to do with me. Chris, it's no secret the police in this town are, how do I put this, just eye candy, I guess. Wait, that came out wrong. I mean, they're symbolic. They barely do anything. It's because of the mayor. There isn't any crime. It makes me wonder if she needs the police, or if they're just getting in her way. Sorry, I'm just saying what you already know. After all, she's your neighbor, right? Yes, and we have a complicated history. between see you tomorrow, Chris. Hey, there's no school tomorrow though. And what about that Sadie Hawkins dance? All right, let's go. Alphys, you're on your own. Now I'm going inside, lady. Well cared for flowers. I wonder who could possibly have those. Oh no, I accidentally ended up as a police officer. I can't quit because my cousins are relying on me. Oh, hey, don't do anything illegal, please. You skimmed a news article about Undyne. New police chief Undyne's explosive debut. Passionate young rookie becomes the new police chief. Though energetic, it may be hard to live up to the legacy after Asgore Dreamer was removed from the force. There's no need to read anymore. But I want to know more! Hey, get out of the road! Sorry, bad habit. Anything I can help you with, punk? Don't. Super dangerous alternate world in the library? More are appearing? People might fall inside? Listen, punk. You seriously think I'm going to believe that? Dark world. Seriously? Yeah. Perfect. I love the expression on her face when this happens. There they go. There go the dogs. Hey, wait! Yeah, not again. Looks like I gotta go recapture those criminals. Hey, by the way, that yellow glasses lady, is she your teacher? She kind of had an accident earlier with her, bike. Just wanted to make sure she was feeling better. So, give her this. You got a heart-shaped box of candies that say "Get Well Soon." It has "To Your Bike" hastily scrawled underneath the "Get Well Soon." Look, "Get Well Soon's all the store had. Open it and I'll arrest you. Look, I'll even put a note in it. Now stop interrupting me. I gotta go. You got the previously described box of candies with a note on it. Oh no, the jail alarm. Do 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 do. Oh yeah. I made the jailbreak alarm on my mixtape. It's a nice beat to study or to relax to while you escape from the prison. Toby Fox knows exactly what was going on. Absolutely is also stuck in the tree somehow. Alright, let's go. Now then. Item. Yes. You held the cards. They felt flimsy between your fingers. Item. Box of heart-shaped candy, because we do have White Day tomorrow. Let's enjoy some candy. Whoa, Chris, where the hell did you get that? Someone gave it to you? Yeah, right. You stole it, didn't you? Now, come on. Let's eat it and hide the evidence. You and Susie shared the heart-shaped box of candies. Both of you had a feeling in your chest. Ow, my stomach. That you shouldn't have eaten all of it. Alright. Now to, unfortunately, torture Chris a little. Oh, Chris, you can play piano? Plink. Almost thought you were serious for a sec. So that pissed off look. Here to make an appointment? Nah, just here to hang out. I see. The beads of the toy march on. Yes, they do. Hey there, lass. Looks like she's resting her voice. You looked inside the cupboard. A very small, obligatory piano is hiding inside. Happy and sweating. That's the way that the pain goes. It's a bunch diagram showing a bunch of lines in a circle. Alright, let's progress the plot even further. All the former Undertale characters of the jobs so parallel. Yep. Alright, hand it over, honey. No, Dad, this is my battle. So, how about just telling me what to do? Noelle, taking... Finally taking a little bit of charge and saying no. The mage left the party. Oh yeah, how about the one of your 99 blaze potions? I'm saving those? Hey, I'm right there with you, Noelle. All those things I've saved up in Elden Ring that I've never used. For what, your birthday? Come on, live a little! Oh, Dad, this one's for you. Hi-ya! It reflects fire attacks. Oops, hey, you gotta heal. I wish I knew the healing magic in real life. I'd make you better, and it wouldn't just be me and Mom. Your mother is... Hey, that's okay, sweetheart. I'm getting better. Might be able to go to church tomorrow. Really? Are you sure you're okay? Holidays happen whether you like it or not. Even though everyone likes holidays. Well, you gotta go home sooner. Mom will call. I gotta go home sooner. Mom will call. See you tomorrow, honey. Bye, Dad. Love you. Susie, why are you in here? Oh, I know. Sorry, guys. This game's only one player. Dad, this is, Susie. Oh, this is Susie. Susie, nice. Heard a lot about you. You, have? Cool, think I gotta go now. Susie, huh? Yeah. Lay a finger on her and I'll kick your ass. Huh? Just kidding. Well, kind of. Oh, the dad. So, why do you collect creepy dolls? Hey, Noelle and her sister made that. Respect it. Noelle's sister? Ah, Des. Yep. Just want to see if things have changed a little bit, Rudy. Des. Used up a lot of my energy just now. Probably not going to be very fun to talk to. Thanks for visiting, though, Chris. And you too, Susie. Current situation. Seems like I need some more tests. So just gotta wait it out. They can't keep me down for too long, baby. Sooner or later, I'm busting out of here. I know how that cough feels, man. Besides, your dad ain't much without his main man. So what is it, Christmas? Well, look, Chris, I can't say much more. And well, might look like she has it all, but her mother, you know. Love her, but she's tough on her. Normally I balance it all out, but I can't do much when I'm not there. But I'm gonna get better. I have to. This guy's such a good father. Susie, Chris, she's a nice girl, huh? Hey, Chris, she's a nice girl. What the hell are you taking here for? Why don't you take her to the movies? Hey, yeah. How the hell did we go to the movies, Chris? Yeah, and take me with you too while you're at it. Yeah, Chris, come on. Kettle corn, Chris, big. Don't skimp out. And maybe this is why we're also going to be getting a TV world in Chapter 3. Chris is taking Susie to the movies. Hey. So sad that he dies in 3 chapters. Who knows if he's going to die? But I think there's a good chance he's going to die. Chris. Alright. Yeah, get on out of here and do something fun. I will, my good man. You take care. I'm going to miss you if you'll leave us. Nope, we've already done the library. Let's go on down. Having a wide open space is great for us kids. Sometimes it's good to get your freak out. Whoa, freak out! Yeah. Let's go into the town hall. Hey, you there! Put me in, coach! Put me in! That bald guy keeps trying to show me something from his briefcase. Is it a bribe? I'm really deep into politics now. Well, if it isn't the teens, our beloved rats of the city. You want to get into politics, eh? You better graduate from diaper school first. That's what I did. And look at me now. I don't even work here. Whoa there, buddy. Oh, I'm sorry. You're looking for the mayor? She's very, very busy preparing for the festival. Oh, yeah. The festival. The Festival of Fools. Nothing like admiring the great paint job me and my bro did on our church. Oh, yeah. I'm not Jared. I'm Terry. I'm super cool. I totally don't have to go to the bathroom. What? Oh, Terry, say it again. Say you don't have to go to the bathroom again. Oh my gosh, what? Okay. And now we get this little ominous bit. First, Garrison Boob's Memorial Bench. Throughout my career, some of my best ideas came from dreams. Take a rest here if anyone asks. You're writing. Yo, amen. Amen. So, this is your idea of hanging out, Chris? Going to the graveyard? Works for me, I guess. Susie, we love you. Crystal Snowy Gem, proud of her mother. Alright. Chris, welcome. Did you seek something from me? Yes. Let's talk about Gerson. It's been a few years since my father passed on. Fans of his famous book series, Lord of the Hammer, we still received condolences from them until just recently. A brave man, brilliant and sharp. Chris, it is a shame you were not able to have him as a teacher, and difficult for Miss Alphys as his replacement. Let us pray that the angel will smile upon her. And you know what? I did a fan fiction series tying into those fans. It was fun to write that. Chris, welcome. Did you seek something from me? Yes, Azrael. Ah, Chris, your brother, he is a very kind young man. Perhaps even a little overzealous in his younger days. He would visit me often to confess to various sins, despite the absence of sin or confession in our religion. I remember a small face sobbing as he admitted he had dropped the lizard in the pit to jump high, nearly omitting the fact that he had done so in a videos game. He also confessed to various sins on your behalf, begging for your forgiveness for dropping the lizard on purpose. I would always forgive him and send him home. Chris, welcome. Did you seek something from me? Yes, let's get the hammer. As per the ritual, the hammer is buried in the earth here, to symbolize his existence, to connect his spirit to the divine. Originally a smith by trade, he began writing history, and he made a turn into telling stories, as a means to entertain his children. Tolkien? That such a story created for such a simple purpose could blossom to such a large, wonderful, world-changing thing? That is the majesty of words, Chris. Yes. Yes, indeed. My father was blessed to have such a talent for writing. One day I may hope to be like Gerson Boom. You heard Alvin mumbling to himself as you walked away. Were you proud of me, Father? And is it right for this hammer to... To what? To what, Alvin? Alright, heading down. Do. Alright. You think it's true? You think there's... What, you chicken? You got a beak and wings? Like a chicken? No, just... I ain't afraid. Only kids believe that stuff. But Chris, you gotta be a weenie like Chris? Oh, yeah. Here we go. Toby Fox's long-lost brother, Chekhov Fox. I don't want to believe Rudy dies, but, well, Chekhov's gun is very visible. Indeed. Indeed, bro. Susie, didn't see you there. Now. Wow, really something scary in there, huh? Huh? Sounds to me like you'd better worry about what's out here first. Ah! You okay, Chris? What's the deal with this place? Well, you don't gotta talk about it. It's locked. Yep. Say, oh boy, that door is going to be something when we finally get to it. Okay. Next part of town. Ooh, got a sneeze coming. Whew. Got it. I just want to go home, but I'm still stuck in a traffic jam, even though it's only one other person. Now we get to enter the pizza place. The pizza sauce is boiling red, bubbling, burning like my blood yearns for battle. I, the warrior, shall show it the wizard's fist. Oh yeah, wow, my coworker seems so energetic lately. I don't know what's happened, but seeing him happy makes me happy too. Oh, customer, would you like a blue soft serve? It's a soda dispenser machine. Inspect it. You took a look at the flavors. Water, ice, double ice, bread, flaming hot cheese soda, gamer's blood energy drink, juice, the red flavor. I'll take the red pill, please. Double ice pizza. Great. Ice Wolf, big customer. Ice Wolf, maybe only customer. Alright, try our new chocolate pizza. melts in your pants, not in your mouth. Alright, let's talk to you, Pizza Pants. Little buddy, you aren't going to believe this. I've got a girlfriend. Azrael, you've got to tell Azrael right now. He's going to be so proud of me. Huh? What's she look like? Little buddy, how do I put it? I don't actually know. I haven't met her in real life. But from the way she texts, oh, little buddy, she must be stacked. Why didn't say you want to hear more? So far, she's the perfect girl, little buddy. She loves pizza and bikinis. And to top it off, she sent me a picture of herself wearing a pizza bikini. Little buddy, perhaps it's uncouth, but look at this. It's a several pixels that vaguely resemble a zoomed-in JPEG of a pepperoni pizza. Yes, I know what you're thinking, little buddy. Her camera is not of the highest caliber. But to a scholarly man of the world like myself, this is what love looks like, little buddy. Oh yeah. Listen, little buddy, hear me out. My girlfriend... And we're going to stop this conversation. That's right, we don't need to say anymore. Go ahead and tell Azrael right now. Sorry you had to hear all that, Susie. That was something else. Alright, now to the QC's Diner, which I'm excited to go in there later on with Susie. Pizza burger! Yes. You gotta get the pizza burger pants. Alright, Kay's working there today. She hates me. So what if I took Jock Boy's hat once? It'll look cool. Jockington fans. They're crazy, man. Okay, well, I'm quickly popping on in here. Just ignore them. I know. They're embarrassing. Why are they even here? Because they care. Then they can care somewhere else. What? Let's talk about Jockington real quick. Pure boy, heart of gold, curiosity high, intelligence low. Dress him up, carrying a bag, precious boy. Don't know why. What? Well, let's talk about family before we get to Noelle. Dad, mom, sister. Ukulele, football games, soap operas. Yelling, standing on tables, afraid of vacuums. Stupid, loud, very loud. Chris, you and I studied a cult together. Incantation for silence. Find it? Tell me. Oh, we're going to work on this. I can't wait to have Caddy in the Dark World. It is going to be legit. And finally, let's talk about Noelle. Golden hair, starry eyes. She is the lights, laughing in the night. Taught her protection spells. Showed her occult findings. But lately she slips into the darkness. Chris, you walk among the dark. Protect her. From Susie. I'm talking about Susie. And here is where I believe that Caddy has got a crush on Noelle. As far as ships goes, yeah, Caddy and Noelle, that's definitely one there on the list. To tell the truth, I thought this was the post office, but by the time I realized, I'd already sat down. I'm not hungry, so I've just been telling the waitress I'm still deciding for a few hours now. How am I supposed to get out of this one? Just order the food, man. Caddy's my friend. Caddy's my friend, and I support my friends through thick and thin. Long and short, cold and hot. Whatever shape the world takes, I'll be there. Life is a big ball game. And when the man is on the field, he does a big dunk. Try to be that dunk. OMG, my little sister is so cute in her outfit. Chrissy, listen to the song I made about her. Caddy's the best, Caddy's the best. She curses me every day, glares cause I'm in her way. Caddy's the best sister ever. Anyway, what's up, Chrissy? Let's really talk a little bit more. OMG, Chrissy, you're not going to believe this. I was at the beach playing ukulele, right? And, that green alligator, evil neighbor girl, invaded and started, playing my song with me. OMG, it was so fun. Wait, isn't she, my enemy? Oh, yeah. This guy next to me, he's really bulked up. I admire that. Oh, hey, hun, how'd you like the hot chocolate? Well, I'm going to take it. That means you enjoyed it. Take it easy, okay? I'm sure your brother will be back in no time. Alright. Now then. Oh boy. You kids came to the library, didn't you? Studying? How wonderful. Personally, I hate libraries, but... Oh, madam, I will still take your taxes to pay for libraries. Alright. Hey, what's up? Let's see here. We're gonna see your brother. By the way, about my brother. Looks like you won't be able to meet him today. Yeah, it's a bummer when things don't work out. Curse you, Sans. Sorry about that. I'm sure we'll meet him someday. Be around when your brother comes home. Hey, what's up? Occupation. Hey, you the boss around here? Me? I'm just the janitor. Then where's the cashier? Cashier? We don't have one. Then who do we buy stuff from? Me. Then that makes you the cashier. Nope, I'm the janitor. I'm just filling in. Are there any other employees? Nope. Then why don't you hire someone else? Whoa, you think I can afford that on a janitor's salary? Hey, what's up? Heard of biking. Hey, welcome to the convenience store. You want to buy something? Put it in a basket and bring it here. In case you didn't know what a store was. That stuff it's used. Half off. What is it? Trash. You can't reach the top, rendering impossible to get a basket. You'll never be able to buy something in this state. Susie, lift me up! It's a rack of candy, jerky, and various nuts. See, jerky is a candy and peanuts too. Actually, they're a legume. Peanuts? Jerky. Grapes, melons, oranges, and a set of fresh pineapples. It looks like a normal basket of fruit, but when you reach in, it's incredibly deep and holds all sorts of things. Loose eggs, $1. Too much responsibility for an egg. Yeah, I'm the sicko that looks at all the milks and tries to find the expiration date. You got something about it? Oh, I'm a sicko like that as well. Various frozen bagels and treats. Hey, Chris, want to see if we can fit inside? You just crouch down under the waffles. I think there's someone looking. Oh, hey, forget something? Fire, yes, I think I left my eggs on the counter. Yes, your memory's not what it's cracked up to be. There really is egg on my face now, is there not? Yeah, you're excused. Now, it sounds as if you're egging me on. Egg on or egg off, I expect a lot from you. Well, I am exceptional. And don't forget me, your egg's husband. Oof! Read the room! Even Sans looks the other way. Hello, Asgore. Tori, I didn't expect to see you here, but I have some extra flowers, and I was wondering if... Oh, I was just about to go, actually. Oh yeah, sure. Home is where the heart is. So, when Azrael comes home... Yes, we should all discuss that together soon. Onky donkey, say hi to Chris for me. Of course. Have a nice day. Whoosh! There we go. You know what I want, Bone Man? Yep. Free pickles. Yeah, why? Thank you. Can I ask, what kind of flowers do you think would make her remember how she felt before? Maybe you should talk to your plants about that. Yeah, don't worry. They're the first ones I ask. They're such good listeners, you know? Flowers. Well, yeah, nothing like a captive audience. Because those flowers are in containers. Yes, I even keep them in glass. Like that movie. Yes, it's very similar to that movie. Hopefully we get to see that movie in Chapter 3. Well, have a good one. I'm trying. Hey, Chris. Never mind. Yeah. Say, that was very awkward. Very awkward indeed. Knock, knock, knock. Faintly, faintly, a trestle growing further away. Dang you! Knock, knock. Who's there? Ooh, is that a human? If humans were made of bones, where does skeletons come from? Knock, knock. That knocking. It's amateur. You still got a long way to go. Knock, knock, knock. Yo, Chris, is that you? We're not hanging out if Susie's with you. Chris, Susie sucks. Why don't you stop her? Oh, come on, monster kid. Yo, Chris, is that you? Alright. Now, to go up on into here. Crocodile gal. Snickers. Like, little Krusie, you hear that? Guy at the pizza place? What was his name? Pizza Pants? Heard he's got, like, a super hot girlfriend? What was her name? Like, Pizzeria? Yeah. Anyway, what did you like? Want to talk? Yeah, let's talk Susie. OMG, it's like so sweet. You have a nasty, dirty little friend. But like, this is my polluted alleyway, so like, I think I might have to go to the mayor and get a traffic sign. Sounds like no +1s because like, okay, like Krusie, come to visit me in my alley. I'm a real alligator, aren't I? Oh yeah, Krusie, like, guess what? Today I like went to the beach to play my uke, and like, guess who's already there? That copycat playing the same song I wanted to play. Cat on the beach. Did you like get lost looking for the litter box? So like I tried to like play the same song too, to assert my ukulele dominance, and we end up getting this, playing the whole song together. Like, oh my gosh, who does this girl? She thinks she can just like harmonize with me. I can't stand her. Hey, Chris, this is free milk. It's amazing. It just magically refreshes itself overnight. Oh, poor Susie. All right. We'll be nearly there. It's closed. I wanted to buy flowers, but the store's closed. The door around the back's unlocked, so I don't think I should go in. And fingers. It's a metal picnic table, and my fingers won't fit through the holes. Yep. Oh, yeah, here we go. Onion. Hey, thought I told you to come alone. You know what? I don't want to get involved in this. Hey, Crisper, I missed you. You hear? I missed you all day. Did you miss me? Yeah. Oh, I was missed. My existence being acknowledged feels good. You hear? You hear? You hear closely for a second. You're my friend, right? As my friend, do you want to hear a secret? Sometimes I hear a song at night. Just a little piece of a song, you hear? It sounds like it's coming from underwater, deep. Do you think someone's auditioning for my band? Oh, I'm about to make another friend. I can feel it, you hear? Do you want to hear another secret? I think maybe... What is it? What is it? I've heard that song before, coming from the sea. The whole thing. It's not a new song, but I can't remember. I can't remember, you hear? I'm going to investigate, you hear? Come back here tomorrow, you hear? Onion is on the case. That's my name, right? See you, Chris. See you, Kiss. Now, what could this be? So we got Kissy, Crisper, Christmas, and Kiss. All names for Chris. Well, it's funny because I have a character called a Valley Girl, says Hannah. Yep. This is very much a Valley Gal. Asgore is so sad. Yeah, poor Asgore. Amazing how Toby was able to make such a natural dynamic with an older character and a new character. Susie and Sans, that is. Oh, yeah. Do we do weird stuff like this every day after school? Kinda. Let's see if we can get it. Try to get Susie right on that spot. There we go. And we should get the two of them then set. There we go. All right. A nice little moment right here. A quiet moment between two people. I personally really like this little shot of the two of them right here because there's no talking. It's just the two of them hanging out. And there's something to be said about friends who can be together and don't need to fill the air with words all the time. Sometimes a little bit of quiet says a lot about a friend and the trust that you have between them, between you. So I like this, but since this is also about quickly recapping all the stuff that really encapsulates this particular chapter of Deltarune. So even though Birdly and Noelle believe that the things that happened in the Dark World were a dream, and are kind of a little bit like, I'm not exactly sure how to process all this now that I'm here. It felt like such a real dream, but still a dream. I don't feel very confident. Their character development hasn't yet been solidified, but we now know a lot about Birdly's backstory, just how insecure Birdly is, and he's on the path to becoming a better person. There's a lot more still for him to do. Noelle is on the path to becoming a much stronger individual, thanks to the things that happened. We've gotten a good bit of context for what might be happening in her life, the dynamic between her and her mom, and the interesting thing is that she needs a good mom figure in her life, but what she really needs is someone who is going to push her to be more independent, to be herself, and we get to see that as she's playing with Rudy. So we see character progression for Noelle, which is great. And then, of course, Susie is becoming more open to making friends with other people. Yeah, we've seen that she's a bit standoffish against Jockington and Birdly still. She definitely doesn't want to have anything to do with Caddy. Her bully side of her came out against Monster Kid and Snowy, which means that there's a lot still to be done right there as far as developing good, positive relationships between her and the rest of the members of the classroom. But a foundation is being laid. So Susie's progressing in terms of being a friend and being a hero. We have a very strong mile marker for her. We have a lot of good setup for what should be happening in Chapter 3 and some of the relationships that we'll be exploring there, especially with the Dreamers and a lot of the awkwardness that's happening. But as far as the Dark World goes, we've saved the world. We've saved the world. We've learned a lot more about the roaring, about why this is so important that we close these dark fountains, and we've learned some important information that will help set up what happens at the end of this chapter. So we've gotten good character progression for a lot of characters that culminates with them saving the world. And now this is basically all set up to what will happen next in the upcoming chapters. So ultimately, even though the chapter itself hasn't yet ended, it will end when we're on the couch. The big stuff, as far as the meat of this particular chapter, its themes and its character progression have already wrapped at this point. This is the falling resolution of the chapter. And what I like about this take of falling resolution is that the falling resolution just isn't simply used to wrap things up. It's being used to help set up what is going to happen in the next chapter. So, yeah, good stuff. Guys, Ghost Paws Archive is here. Woohoo! Also, Pete Krusie moment right here. Though with Monster Kid and Snowy was in defense of Chris too, she was in the vein of friendship. Yes, it was. You're absolutely right there, guys, that she was doing what she was doing out of friendship, but she adopts that bully persona that she was wearing earlier in Chapter 1. And that's one of the neat, complex things about Susie is how she really is a good person who wishes to have friends, but because of how other people have treated her, she decided to fully embrace the idea of being a bully. And so that's a nice layer of depth to her character. And it'll be interesting to see how those two are convinced that Susie really isn't a bad person in the future. All right. A lot of that stuff being said. Knock, knock. Who's there? What? Wait, what? If you're looking for a Blookie, they aren't here. Unless you're looking for someone else. Say someone else. Fine. Want to talk to someone else? Here. Oh my, someone's here to see me? It's you again, is it? Is it, darling? Oh my, why do you keep coming to our door? Are you a fan of mine? As if someone could be a fan of a nobody like me. Well, if you are a fan, can I bother you for a favor? Since the internet went down, I haven't had much entertainment. If you have anything entertaining, darling, could you bring it to me tomorrow? It would mean the world to me. Thank you. All right, we got more stuff now to do. Ribbit, ribbit. It's sometimes here beautiful singing from that house over there. How eerie. Could it be a ghost? Maybe. There's some kind of scratching noise coming from the inside. It's a broken grill. Smells like burnt cat food. Tasty. Various cat-themed junk is piled up inside the house. Seems to be a bit of a cat sty. There's a cat flap. It's locked somehow. It's an ornate gate. It appears to be locked. Alright. It's your mom's van. Yeah, we're going to be slashing those tires later. Chris, you're going home? Yeah. Alright. Then, guess it's goodbye for today. See you tomorrow, Chris. Chris, how was studying with your... Why, Chris, is that your friend? Why don't you invite her inside? Chris, I should have probably get going, and I was going to bake a pie. Did you want any? Pie day tomorrow! I guess I can come over for a bit. Remember, everyone, Pie Day. And if you want a good read on Pie Day, you can get Notice Me, Send Pie. Feel free to come in. Oh yeah, also speaking of things that I get or giving away, no one has yet claimed the frog for this week's review of the Apothecary Diaries. If you want a hand-drawn frog from Camille, watch the video and be the first person to comment with the correct number of frogs hidden in that video, and you will get yourself an illustrated frog. It's the weirdest power stance. Oh, you do, and you are Susie, are you not? You remember my name too? Of course, Miss Alphys is a good friend of mine. She often talks about you. Glad to hear it. Chris, how's Alphys saying about me? Susie, why don't you wash hands over there? Then we can make the pie together. Make it together? But I don't know how to. Do not worry, I can teach you. Okay. Chris, Susie seems like a nice girl. I'm very happy you're friends with her, but... Chris, I heard from Alphys about her behavior. If by any chance she influences you, leave the chocolate, alright? This is one of those moments where, again, it's like, really, how could Toriel be a bad mother to Chris? And it's not that she's a bad mom. I think that it's more a matter of that things just aren't quite connecting between Toriel and Chris. And that we're going to learn more about that in Chapter 3. Wonderful. Now we can... Oh, Chris, how about you show Susie how to bake it? Chris, you know how to make a pie? Now, haven't you made me any then, dumbass? You pie-hoarding piece of... excuse me, ma'am. Susie, you can just call me Toriel outside of school. Okay, sweet! Huh, Chris? You need to wash your hands too. I suppose I shall teach Susie for now. Susie and I will start getting ready to make the pie. We will... Wait! It's the TV. Looks like it's plugged in, but it's dusty. It's a landline phone. Always have your landline ready, just in case the aliens attack. We already have a cell phone. It's a trash can. Somehow its floral scent has increased. How? What were you doing, Asgore? It's a sink. You could wash your hands here, but isn't the sink in the bathroom better? Hey, what are those metal people shapes in the cupboard? Like handcuffs for little guys' whole bodies? Those are for gingerbread, Susie. Gingerbread men. And gingerbread monsters, of course. Gingerbread monsters, huh? Cool. Gingerbread. Sounds like something Noelle would like. Noelle? Nothing. Alright. She's sneaking sugar right out of the bag. Susie? What? My pie, my rules. Got it. Chris, no sneaking ingredients until you wash your hands. Don't worry, Chris. I'll sneak stuff instead. Okay, here we go. First, flush the toilet. No need for it. Fine. Wait. Will you run the tap? No. All right, let's check this. Let's check that shampoo. No need for it? No. No need for it. I need to check the shampoo, dang it. Now, we know that Susie came in here and guzzled some of the apple-scented shampoo. All right. Well, we're in it now. We're in the end game, everyone. And it says, she's overbearing but loving and understanding. Yeah, and that's not bad. I missed the pie baking. I know we're all going to miss the pie baking. Alrighty. And there we go. There goes the hand. And out comes the soul. In it goes. Let me out, let me out, let me out! Oh, Chris. Without a soul, you're so slow. This is, though, again, where I think, so, if, I know that this is a convoluted theory, and I know that people who love Kara hate me for bringing this up, but I personally do believe that Chris is not just being possessed by us, the players, but by someone else. And that someone else that we do know who is in the space-time everything, who is also in there, is not just simply Flowey, is the amalgamation of Azrael and Kara, but that Kara is their own entity, especially if you go the genocide route. And I personally think that something is connected back to that basically leads to Chris being even more possessed. Because the thing is that when Chris moves of their own initiative, with us being in them, they are totally fluid and fine. And we know from Noelle's backstory that Toby released that Chris has got some pretty crazy reflexes. So it begs the question of, why is it then that Chris looks and acts so weird when the player's soul is taken out? And it makes me wonder if there is at least one other entity who's also in control of Chris. We just don't know. But I'm actually willing to bet that even though Occam's razor says that the most simple explanation is usually the correct one, but I'm willing to bet that it's a little bit more complicated than that. That there is someone else involved in all of this. 12 says, I think, to be honest, I think it's completely separate from Undertale. Here's the thing. Toby Fox said that Undertale has no bearing whatsoever on how Deltarune plays out. But there are so many things that correlate between Deltarune and Undertale, and especially with the experiment that Gaster is performing, that there has to be a connection on a much deeper level in terms of the lore. Like what happened in Undertale has nothing to do with Deltarune. But the things that happened in the lore of Undertale can very easily have an effect on what's happening in Deltarune, because Gaster, who was never seen in the game, is an individual who has influence here. And I know there's people just say Gaster is like, oh, it's just an example. Gaster is a good, easy explanation for all the weird stuff that we don't have answers for. Except that Toby Fox announced Deltarune using Gaster's speech pattern. And connecting what is happening in Deltarune to what Gaster was performing back in the lab, dealing with determination and other timelines. And so I think that is indeed linked, that the lore is connected. Not necessarily the events or the characters, but the lore. And there are characters who directly come out of that lore. Sans, Gaster, there's a good chance that Papyrus does as well. And we know that Flowey is able to travel throughout time as well. Flowey's an amalgamation. So that means that we can still have, in some kind of way, Asgore and Kara show up. It is a real possibility. It's one that I think that if people just say, no, it couldn't happen, it won't happen, then they've set themselves up for, if it does happening, to get kind of angry. And I think it's one of those instances where if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But if it does happen, we should be willing to accept that, again, with the lore connection, the characters who are connected with the deeper lore, that if they do show up, there's a reason for it happening that way. And that it doesn't go against what Toby has said. So Dark Sage says, also Lars, what do you think about the tea rotting in later chapters? I'm quite sad about it since it was such an interesting concept. That is kind of sad that the tea, like as the game goes on, you get less and less of, like, you can't go back and get the cool stuff that happened in one chapter sometimes, which is an incentive for you to play thoroughly through each chapter, so you can get as much of the detail before you move on. This is a game that begs you to seek out its secrets, and I think that that's really that's what Toby Fox is really trying to push right there. Darkest Daydreams, so that way you're not just stuck on a couple of things that you really like from a previous chapter, when there's far more that you can still enjoy and experience. Joel says, I feel there's no narrative need. I'm going to be upset if he does show up. 12, I'm sorry, but honestly, he would fit in perfectly well. When you say there's no narrative need, I would honestly have to see why. Why wouldn't that fit? Because who's the crazy man behind the tree in the spaces handing out eggs? Why eggs? Why also then do you have this repeating of themes? Also, why is it that Gaster's speech style was used to introduce the game and then within the game at the very beginning? Using oh, not going to be upset. Okay. All right. Got it right there. I totally misread that. Oh, thank you. But that's my question, though, to anyone, because I have seen people, when I've uploaded other videos and theories, who are like, no. And I'm like, don't get upset if it should happen, because Toby is setting it up. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And then theorists can be really upset about it if that's what they banked on. But I say that be willing to accept that some weird stuff is going to happen later in the later chapters. That we're going to be like, oh, I did not see that coming. Or I did see that coming, and that was not what I expected it to be. Good old Snoriel and Snoozy. Snoozy and Snoriel. All right, where the hell is Chris? Toriel? The pie's nearly done. Oh, the sugar. Wait here a moment. I left it in the car. Okay. And then that's when Toriel will see the slashed tires. Come on, Chris. Hey, Dredge is here. So mentioned Pink Eggman really threw me out. Okay. Well, Dredge, it's great to have you here. And in goes the heart. And see, this is the other thing. Like, why would Chris put back in the player's soul if, as we know, thanks to the run with Spanton, that Chris is looking to cut that string and be free? It's it makes things a little interesting. Also, can we at least appreciate how Toriel is willing to keep Susie here because she's scared that someone might attack Susie on her way back home? Like, that's a good thinking, Toriel. So, what's next? Or the pie? Oh, we already worked quite hard, have we not? How about we finish it later? Okay. Then, guess I'll walk home. Oh, no, there's no need to do that. Oh, actually, Susie, would you like to stay over? Huh? I mean, if that's okay then. Here, look at this. Our couch is used to being used as a bed. It's not perfect, but we could all sleep out here. That sounds good to me, yeah. Splendid. I'll make sure everything is in order. Just, call your parents, will you not? Yeah, of course. And... So, what the hell? Sleepover? Man, I haven't had one of those in forever. Yeah. Hey, Chris, it's not like someone has to tell you to sit, right? There, shut up for a sec. So, now what? I got it. Maybe between the pillows here. There, knew I'd find the remote in there. You can always find good stuff wedged in the couch. It's dusty. When was the last time you used this thing? Well, who cares? Let's just watch TV. So what are we going to marathon tonight? Blood Crushers 3, Hellbusters, Invasion of the Cat Petters. We're just going to watch the forecast. Hey, maybe I see the movies more your speed, huh, Chris? Hey, it's been a good day, huh, Chris? You, Ralsei, Lancer, everyone. It's just cool hanging out together, right? That's why, don't you think we should try have them come to our world? Come on, think about it. Think about how much better it would be. Ralsei could do our homework. Lancer could live under your bed. We could all walk to school together. It'd be perfect, I mean, we'd be unstoppable is what I'm saying. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, that's the attitude. What if Ralsei became a teacher's pet, though? Or not. Just feels like a matter of time, honestly. Well, whatever. As long as he brings me an apple, too. What, apple shampoo? No, I didn't drink any of that. Well, whatever. Let's just get back to watching. Watching. So, the festival's coming up, right? That's the thing where the town becomes a carnival. Stupid, right? No, not really. Not at all. Free install the strings. I got no strings to hold me down. But say you had to, take someone. Noelle or Ralsei? Since this is the Krusie run, you. Huh? Way to dodge the question, dumbass. I mean, if I went, obviously you'd be there too. It goes without saying, right? But look, let's just go back to watching TV. Now this is what I'm talking about. Giant monster movie special. I always like them better than the giant human movies. Now this is something we can marathon. Are you ready, Chris? 12 hours of building, crashing, car crunching action? Because we are locked in. Got it? I better not see you move until your eyes are bloodshot. Now let me just get comfortable here and... There. Boom. So this happened to me the last time I went to do a creepy movie in the woods. I absolutely slept and then woke up when I snored really loudly and everyone was staring at me. That was really embarrassing. Oh, and the sound of that dragon snore. And there goes Chris. And as it turned to night. Officer? Wow, we've been going on for almost 3.5 hours. Oh my gosh. Woo! Drudge, what'd you miss? You missed the Drudge, you missed the lesson at the beginning. It was a good lesson too. Thank goodness I finally got through. I thought I saw someone prowling around outside. When I checked our car, the tires looked like they'd been slashed. Officer, if you could please come over. You will? Soon? Thank you. Ah, Toriel, in her cute little gown. They're already asleep, reading the book. I'm surprised that she kept the television on while deciding to read. All right. Movements. Out goes the heart and into the couch. So the next chapter guest characters are Toriel and Undyne then, or Nabstablook. I think Asgore. So creepy. And out comes the knife. And here we go. The darkness begins. And so comes the end of chapter 2. And potentially Mike right there? Who knows? That smile. So, Ro, yes, Asgore was removed from the Force. Most likely for whatever happened with Des. However, I'll make it Tenna. Now then, here's what I think is that Asgore probably still has a police scanner and knows what's going on to show up. I think it is very possible for Undyne or Nabstablook to show up in the next chapter. Like, I'm totally fine with that, but I think there is a possibility for Asgore to arrive. Because Asgore lost his place on the Force for whatever happened with Des. I'm almost positive of that. And the Dreamer and Holiday families have largely split because of that. We know that Asgore and Rudy get along still really well, but their families have grown distant as a part of everything that's happened. To be continued in chapter 3. So we know that they've gone apart. Asgore wants to fix things with Toriel. One of the ways that he could be redeemed from his great loss would be to, well, help out with figuring out whatever happened to Des. And even though Asgore is presented as a pretty pathetic character, I think that one of the things that Toby might try to do to kind of pull the rug out from under us as far as our expectations go would be to show Asgore later on in the light of the cool guy that he can be. And in order to do that, Asgore needs to kind of be put, I think, a little earlier onto the side quest of figuring out what happened to Des and to Chris. Add to that even though I don't think we're going to fix the failed marriage between Asgore and Toriel, I don't think that's going to happen. There will be reconciliation, as opposed to what we saw in Undertale. That they can at least come to terms with what happened and move on together in some kind of way. In order for that to happen, with this chapter, we are going to be confronting the backstory of the Dreamers in chapter 3. And because of what Susie says to Chris, like, your family's pretty messed up, or whatever quote exactly is, she's already seen a little bit of the interaction between Toriel and Asgore, and I think that she's going to be able to say that even more so after seeing more of Asgore and Toriel, which would make sense if we get to see those two interact in chapter 3. So that's my thinking. That's my thinking right there. We just don't know yet. Guy says, I'm so ready for chapters 3 and 4. I am as well. Hashtag Deltarune tomorrow. If only. If only. I agree with you, Darkest Daydreams. Asgore and Toriel at least need some closure. Some positive closure. And I think that that's part of what's going to happen in this game. Because the true ending to the whole game is ultimately for these characters to sorry, I gotta rub my nose real quick. Yeah. Ultimately the end goal of Deltarune is to become friends with everyone. That is what Toby said. And so that will require that will then require figuring out whatever we can between Asgore and Toriel, because that's a big issue for Chris. And part of becoming friends with everyone is just, of course, fixing all these issues around hometown, helping Chris feel like they really belong. So yeah, there's a lot, a lot to do. Oh my gosh, I'm so ready for chapter 3. We've been waiting for so long, and I feel like it's coming closer. Honestly, I don't expect it until maybe May. I think that we'll finally get chapters 3 and 4 in May. I would love it if we got it on April Fools. I don't think Toby is that much of a troll. Guy says, I mean, I also feel it's about Susie feeling at home within her town as well. And I agree, because Susie is the main character of this game. She is. And so this is really her journey ultimately. Chris's story is the one that we discover as we go along, if we're paying attention, which I think it will then hit us really hard in the later chapters. But until that moment, it is Susie's story. Rose says, my bet is on April 1st. And Hannah says, you might get it in fall. Oh man, that's such a long time to wait. Deltarune tomorrow. Just give it to us tomorrow, Toby. I'm ready, man. Okay then, so we have been here for over 3.5 hours. My voice is beginning to get a little bit scratchy, so I'm going to bid everyone adieu. Also, because I want to catch some of the last bit of that storm outside, because I'm a desert rat. You got to appreciate all the rain that you can get when it happens. And there comes the cough again. I actually managed to get pretty well through this without hacking up a lung. That is a miracle. A little drink of water right there. So just to remind you guys again, Pi Day is tomorrow. White Day is tomorrow. Enjoy Pi Day. Enjoy White Day. Is a day of sweets and love. Also just a day to enjoy one of the craziest numbers and forget about that really quick when you decide to eat some pie. And again, if any of you wish to have your very own illustrated frog from Camille, then make sure that you head on over to the latest video for the Apothecary Diaries that Scott and I did, and be the first person to comment with the correct number of frogs hidden in that video, and you will get your very own frog drawn by Camille herself. It's going to be awesome. And if you'd like to support the work that we do here, please check out the books that we've published, especially Notice Me Senpai for Pi Day. But otherwise, thank you so much, everyone, for being here with us on this incredible adventure that we call writing. This is pretty much wrapped up for right now, the Deltarune playthroughs. We won't be doing any more until we actually get the next chapters. And we've had our Krusie fun, our fun of talking about Deltarune and the likes. And of course, there will always be more to talk about, even before the next chapters drop. But we are kind of drawing up in things that we can The well has almost gone dry, Toby. Please give us more. I'm gonna make a toot toot Krusie warrior toot toot. Oh yeah. So, everyone, again, thank you so much for being here. Hope you all had a great time. I know I did, and thank you so much for everyone's comments, for your respect, as always, for your recommendations, your input. You guys are amazing. So, with all that being said, we'll see you guys in a later video, and until then, tschüss.